birthday. What?
Well, not really his birthday. It's just a way of saying, do you know what you want?
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, well, that is gonna be like he has some more time to decide, but he did put in his request for what he was looking for.
Awesome.
But they've got to work on that in game. So, continuing from last week, you guys finished up your business in Phandalin. You caught up with some old NPCs. You acquired some flying mounts. You brokered a deal with the followers of Klauth, a dragon so ancient, so powerful, and so large that he is the size of a small town. With your new mounts, your new abilities, and your new intel, the giants wait for you in the Dessarin Valley, southeast of your current location. Is there any other business that you guys need to settle before you leave the region?
I do not.
Okay.
Did we want to check up on that bit of intel we got from the bard about the lady trapped in the tower?
The outsider?
Yes.
Okay.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
We don't have to. It was just
Who did you want to ask around at the Wave Echo Cave before you guys left, or did you want to ask maybe when you got to Westbridge?
We can wait till Westbridge, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
Westbridge is going to be closer.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. So
we should definitely. Hey, Marcus, you should send a message to maybe Claw Iliamatar to let her know that we're going to be flying around her territory. I don't know. Just as a
I'm a little bit perplexed when it comes to that because I still have this image as memory of when Crash had us interact with Imrith, right? Of Imrith sounding like Claw and Iliamatar. I don't know if that was like a coincidence or you mean like they both sound like ancient dragons?
yeah, your DM he doesn't have enough ancient dragon voices to go around. It's really yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's all that was. Yeah.
Only two in that setting.
Okay. I remember you saying that.
I've been told. Yeah, I've been told I should look into some voice changer stuff for big monsters, but I haven't looked into it. So I feel like I feel like it would be putting like a a ball of socks in my pants. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to just do it all natural. You know what I'm saying? So.
Crash, you can't do that. That would set the bar way too high for the other DMs.
Oh, jeez. Well, I mean, a lot of DMs are doing it, so I don't know. Just feels a little phony. Feels a little phony to me, but maybe I'll check it out. We'll see. If you go right over Crypt Garden Forest, it is only 100 miles. If you veer off around the mountains, it's more like 120, 140 miles.
Then, if that's the case, I will use Ascending to ask Claw and Iliamatar if we can use our trained flying Hellkites to travel past Crypt Garden Forest flying over, not stop.
Yeah, is that the gist of the message?
Yes.
Okay. She replies in her deep, gravelly, dragony voice that this is amenable, and she will not act against you as long as the trip is swift and with purpose.
We have the okay then.
All right. You are traveling 100 miles, but you got flipping flying mounts now. And your flying mounts are pretty speedy. Let's see. You could make it there in a single day of travel if you are willing to fly for 12 hours. That would make your mounts have to make 4 checks against exhaustion. Otherwise, you would have to Otherwise, you would have to settle down maybe like halfway there in the Crypt Garden Forest.
Ooh, yeah, I didn't get a permission for that.
Well, maybe we
What
should
if we
take the
stop-
long way around.
What if we stop right before Crypt Garden Forest?
If you stop right before Crypt Garden Forest, you're essentially dividing it into two 50-mile trips. So you could do 50 miles, no problem. Yeah, so you could travel, 50 miles today and then 50 miles first thing in the morning kind of thing.
Sounds good
Is
to
that
me.
okay with you guys?
Okay.
It's
If
gonna
assuming
require
you
another
yeah,
message
assuming you
to-
wake up at like 5 a.m. and you leave super early tomorrow, you'll get to Westbridge by like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Yeah. So someone's excited about it. So yeah.
Sorry.
No worries. Flying mounts are very exciting. It's completely understandable.
They're playing Roblox.
Almost as exciting as flying mounts, I guess. All right. So if that's the case, then let's do that. Sure.
Alrighty.
All right. Let's see. Encounters for flying mounts. The most important encounter for flying mounts is, of course, the weather. So let me dig that info up real quick for you.
Crash, should I just go ahead and delete the Ronavadadon from my sheet?
Yes, because it has been handed over and will no longer be itself the next time you see it. So.
Already rude.
Oh, so Egan did give the okay for that, or?
Oh yeah, he put in his commission or order essentially. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's gonna make Oreos, guys. It's gonna make Oreos. That's basically.
Yeah, Oreo's delicious. Let's see.
Marcus sheds the tears.
Okay.
That happens.
And a new wave of diabetes swept over
Yeah.
D&D land.
That is one way. That is one way to defeat the hill giants. Is just to give her diabetes. So it's a slow victory. A very slow victory.
Is that a giant Oreo?
All right. So you guys have traveled for a while. You've done some stuff. All right. Here we go. Let's see. Weather for today is mostly cloudy with a gentle breeze. So there won't be any issues in that regard. So that's cool. As you guys settle down in the mountains for the night, you have 6 fiery wyverns, your entourage of NPCs, and yourselves. So only the most foolish, aggressive, and stupid creatures would ever dare to try and fight you. So let me roll to see if any such creatures do that.
Yeah.
Roll for stupidity.
During the night,
You joke.
during the
Wait,
night,
yeah.
there would have been an encounter, but seeing your great numbers and your powerful mounts, the creatures did not wish to engage. So, I guess congratulations on that front. All right,
Encounter successful.
that's right. In an XP-based
XP
game,
for that.
yeah, in an XP-based game, players would immediately demand experience points for that, which is why after Saltmarsh is over, I will not be running any more XP-based games, because yeah.
Oh, come on.
Alright.
We don't demand that many updates.
No, you guys are fine.
Yeah.
You
At
guys
least
are fine.
since I've been playing.
Yeah. Yeah, we just ask for levels. We don't ask for XP.
Yeah. All right. So you continue. You wake up super early in the morning. It is chilly up in the mountains, despite it being a summertime now. The mountains are like 50 degrees when you wake up. You mount up on your hellkites. It is assumed while you were camping and settling in for the night that your kobold Ticklick drilled you guys, praising you the entire time on the proper care and feeding and techniques for riding these creatures. So far, so good, but you do get the feeling that in an actual battle, you will be required to make these sorts of checks actively to maintain discipline and control over the beasts. So that is worth noting. This would be any kind of new animal you got, but these creatures are particularly ornery compared to most. You should by now each have your own Hellkite character sheet to keep track of. So if you'd like to change their names or whatever, you can now do so without impacting anyone else's Hellkite. Alright. The next day starts super early, and you fly over Crypt Garden Forest. The weather today is calm and clear. There is hardly any wind and no clouds. So if you had not alerted Claw Matar of your approach, you would have been very easily spotted from the ground. Despite the weather conditions, Crypt Garden Forest manages to be as spooky as ever, with a dense fog bank sort of clinging to the roofed forest that is the area. And it is very hard to sort of discern what exactly is going on down there. You do, however, fly directly over an area that has very large and ominous, for lack of a better descriptor, maleficent vines, forming sort of a natural, spiky Great Wall of China around like a 1 mile area. The foliage inside this 1 mile area is dense and aggressive looking. And the fog that clings to the trees and their foliage has a greenish tint to it, hinting at poison. You determine that this is more than likely the actual location of Claw Matar's lair. So your path would have had you fly directly over it. All right.
Thank goodness for sending.
Yeah, you continue your passage, and before lunchtime, you reach Westbridge. And you think about the fact that it took you like 9 days to get here last time, or something crazy like that. And now, it was pretty easy with the flying mounts. All right, I could take you guys over to Westbridge if you'd like. I don't know how long you're planning to stay here. Let's see.
Hey Marcus.
Yes.
Do you think Bradsworth is dead? Do you think Claw ate him?
I don't know. I'm curious as well, but
That's what the name.
I have a
of
ring of warmth.
Right?
Like, do you stay up? Do you stay up late thinking about it sometimes, like wondering like what happened to him?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually thought about it the other night in bed. Like, I wonder what happened to him.
Fair. All right, let's see. Oh man, there's still
dragon lucky and died.
There's still limited edition Hunchback Marcus on this page. All right,
what?
Yeah, let's bring you over. All right.
Yeah, they probably.
You got turned into a hunchback?
No, he got turned into a
hideous thing like that.
What are those stupid big-eyed giant?
Fomorian.
There you go. That's it.
Let's see. It's probably hard to see. Let me drag your dudes out onto the map. There we go. All right. So here's the thing. You guys are arriving on some scary ass mounts. So local militia does muster. So as you approach, there is a contingent of halflings, half-elves, and humans. They are armed with slings and bows and crossbows, and they are ready to shoot down these dragon cultists who have arrived at their city. How do you want to proceed with that?
I'll land first, and I'll like, no, Lords Alliance, hold on. With the Sword Saints of Phandalin, we're here on official business. No need to start a fight.
All right. The largest and most intimidating of the halflings. He puffs out his chest, and he looks to you and he says, "You're in the Lord's Alliance, huh?"
Well, I was. I'm retired.
You don't
I
seem...
travel with the Sword Saints of Phandalin.
I'm familiar with the Sword Saints of Phandalin. I sold them some magic scrolls once. Hired them for a job, and they never finished it.
Hmm. Well,
What a
I haven't been
coincidence.
traveling with
We're
them
here for that
too
job.
long. But...
That's because he sold us the scrolls. The job was to trade for them instead of selling them.
Yeah, we didn't actually take the job.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't here for the for that particular transaction, but
Don't let him sway.
I'm sure
Oh
that's
wait,
something we
hold
can
on,
work out if it's an issue.
guys. This is the town Gyoza's dad is in.
So, the name is Gulliver Longstockings, and you're welcome to stay in the town, as long as you keep those beasts outside the town limits.
Understandable.
Gulliver,
That's a
you look
perfectly
taller.
reasonable request. Ticklick.
He looks around, at who said that, sees the manticore riding on the dragon, which has fish riding on the back of the dragon, and he just shakes his head, and he just says, Dritsteward, you don't make it easy, buddy. You don't make it easy.
You should try traveling with him sometime.
He knows me.
I know that the Sword Saints had a magic cat, but it died.
Nope.
It's that
Well,
cat.
yes, technically I did multiple times.
Ah, all right.
I think he's like on live 6 or something like that. I don't know.
There's a lot of magic in the world. Anyways, go ahead and just find a place, keep an eye on your dragons, and you're welcome in the town after that. But you definitely need to keep them supervised. I don't want any local children kind of sneaking up and getting burnt alive or whatever.
No, nor do we.
Hey.
I'll seek out
They'll-
Ticklick and
Yeah.
ask him
They'll
to
learn the
organize,
first time.
Who's gonna sleep with stay near the dragon?
That's why we have the
Egan.
Cobalt.
You can also stay with Ticklick.
All right.
Are you sure, Egan? This could be an opportunity for you to learn and explore things.
Yeah, Egan, why don't you? You know what? There's a shop. There's a leather worker's shop that maybe you could find some interesting items in. Master leather worker.
All right.
I'll stay with the dragon since I'm closest related to them.
Oh, definitely. They do respond better to you than to most of the people that in the party because of your draconic sorcery. All right, let's see. What do we got for Westbridge? Village strung out along the long road between Red Larch and Tribor. Westbridge is home to the Harvest Inn. Nice.
Just noticed this stuff.
All right. Let's see. Gulliver Longstocking is the leader of the town. All right. Paid everybody their money. Harvested itself. Okay.
Marcus.
Yes.
Hey, when you go into town, you should totally, if you go to the end, see what they did with that head that I left there.
Another.
What?
I left the taxidermy jackalope head.
Oh, that head.
I left it on.
Yeah.
I left it on one of my eldritch circles
On
in the
the
middle
roof?
of their. No, this one was in their in their hearth area.
Oh, I remember now. Okay, yeah.
All right.
I'll let you...
So there are a number of locations that you could visit in this town. If you're doing a quick and succinct visit, just kind of hit me up with what exactly you're after. Otherwise, you can kind of explore a bit more. They do have a bank, a wagon works, a granary, the tavern / inn, a hospice, an armorer, a clothier, leather working place, lumber mill, grain mill, temple, bathhouse, stables, Yeah, let's see. They've got they've got it all, man. You want poultry? They've got a poulterer.
Oh.
Yeah. And they even have a
Instead of
graveyard and a haunted henge.
Hmm.
Yeah, they got a haunted henge right over here. There you go.
That's right.
So you are looking for, you said a bank?
Well, I'm curious. Does the
Mhm.
bank offer loans?
The bank does offer small loans to people living in the town that might be down on their luck. They also do basic money changing because adventurers tend to find ancient coin and need it turned into regular stuff. It's a facet of gameplay that was sort of left behind in second edition.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's one of those things that happens in the background that we don't really talk about too much. But you know, if you've ever wondered, like, how is it that we find ancient treasure, but it's magically the right coinage that we need? All of that is handled, you know, by like places like that, like small banks and money lenders and things like that. All right. So, do you need a loan? Is that what you're asking? Because I thought you were doing pretty good for money.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I was wondering if they'd give me a small loan of like 1,000 gold or something.
I feel like for Westbridge, that would not be a small loan. That would be a pretty big loan for Westbridge. But if you guys do want to check in on your buddy Ula, you could do that. You can also, if you're trying to gather information about the giantess in the tower, you could certainly follow up on that. So, what's the hit list here?
I will starting with the local guard.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask them about the giantess in the tower, and then sort of work the bars and inns and see what information I can glean.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So that sounds good. While Carrick is working on that, Salem, you are hanging out with Ticklick and the Hellkites.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. While that is going on, oh, poor Duskin, you're not here anymore. You're off in the Elven Islands.
Rip.
Marcus, what are you working on while Carrick is getting information and Salem is keeping track of 6 fiery wyverns?
Checking on the leather worker. I want to
Okay.
see how she's been doing ever since
right,
she got her pay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, fair enough. And then let's see. Gyoza, what are you up to?
Probably just staying with Salem, helping out with the Hellkites.
Okay, fair enough.
If they like go down for a nap or something, I'll swing by that cherry orchard farm.
See how they're doing? Fair enough. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So then, let's see. Larionis, is there anything you need to take care of?
Do we have enough in the party fund for a healing potion restock? I currently have none.
I don't know.
That was asking
Oh.
the group.
I'm all tapped out after that fight with the Aboleth and the carrion crawlers, but I'm fine.
I've got some gold, enough for some basic healing potions anyway.
Yeah, I was thinking just like 1 or 2 potions, and then that way, just in case somebody goes down or something like that, we can.
Yeah, Gyoza will give Larionis 100 gold for healing potions.
All right, fair enough. They can be purchased at the standard price, 50 each.
All right, we'll buy 2. That's
All
really
right.
all I'm looking for in the town, I think.
Okay. Fair enough. So, let's see. And then Egan, what are you doing in the town?
Egan will also look for a potion and then probably just tag along with Marcus.
Okay, fair enough. So Sergeant Carrick Borgash, using your background, you speak with the local guards. You ask about rumors of lady giants and a tower. You do, in fact, get reports that there was a trio of lady giants that were causing a lot of trouble in the area with their pet bears and hawks. However, 2 of the giants were killed by adventurers, and the 3rd is said to have fled into the hills southeast of town and has given no further trouble to any of the travelers or any of the people here. They mark approximately on your map where it's at, but they caution you that she is crafty and cunning. And if you're going to rile her up, be ready to finish what you started, because we don't need her harassing us again. Apparently, she killed killed and robbed a great many people along the roads before she was finally stopped.
How long ago was she driven off?
About a week and a half, so about 15 days.
Okay.
So they haven't seen her in like 15 days, but he does say that there is an old tower southeast of town in the hills, and that that is the same direction that she fled to after her allies were killed. And he does motion to 2 huge hill giant skulls that adorn the southern gates of the city.
I don't believe in coincidences, so that might be a good place to start.
Okay.
I'll also try and see if there's any additional information from travelers at the inns and taverns, just to cover all my bases.
Fair enough. While that is happening, the rest of the party, you travel over to Risen Sun Leather Goods to speak with your old friend Ula. Ula Morninggore. So Ula Morninggore is a half-orc leather worker of some renown, and when you arrive, you do see that the business does seem to be doing well. And as you sort of ask around, Ula is apparently very busy in her workshop, but could be available to talk to you guys later in the day if you're willing to wait.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you grab a lunch over at the tavern, and eventually she kind of meets you at the tavern to kind of catch up with you guys to see how things are going. So you head on over to the Harvest Inn, grab some lunch. There you do see Salem's jackalope. It has been given a place of honor above the mantle. Along with all sorts of other oddities and trinkets. It's very like, Diner Wall, where they just started putting a lot of weird shit on the wall. Yeah. Yeah, but it's there, kind of staring out with its glassy eyes, its mouth open in a yawning scream, the scream that rabbits make.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So as you enter, you see 2 familiar people. You see Rizzo Brightguard, and you see Harvey Bentstone. And as you enter, the place is doing pretty decent business, but not nearly as much as it could be doing. It's certainly nowhere near capacity. And they motion you to sit down. They bring you some food. At this point in your careers, the cost of eating at a roadside tavern is pretty negligible. So, I mean, don't worry about it. Harvey does give Gyoza a hard look, but says nothing.
Gyoza's not there. But...
Oh, right. Yeah. All right. Harvey gives the Sword Saints a hard look, looking for Gyoza, but says nothing. So,
Gotcha.
Those of you who see Harvey looking at you, it's hard not to wonder, is this guy related to Gyoza? I don't know. Weird. It's very weird. Anyways, lunch is good. Mostly like a venison stew with big crusty bread to dip into the wooden bowls. Like a heavy mead, and then sort of a weird, like squishy cookie type dessert. You are eventually.
Cheeses?
You want cheeses? Oh, I mean, they have
Yeah.
cheesy donuts. Do you want cheesy donuts?
Oh, for the Anauroch.
Okay.
For the right, yeah. You'll take
Yeah.
some cheesy donuts, yeah.
Donuts. It's like, it's a totally different thing.
But I have an accent.
That's
my accent.
Yeah, the pieces of dough tied in a knot, and then they melt the cheese and butter on top of them. Oh, okay. And you can kind of pull them apart. Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Yep.
Some places will put nuts on them. I don't know why in the Forgotten Realms they insist on putting nuts on their cheese bread, but like that's the thing that they do. So, Ula joins you, and she orders some food and sits at your table. She looks overworked, but overall pretty happy. And as she is seated at the table with you, she smiles and says, "Well, if it isn't the great heroes that changed my life, it's good to see you still alive."
Good to see you still working.
This will be my last job. Once I finish this cloak, it's easy street for me. I'll be moving to the city on the coast. Never gonna have to work again unless I want to.
Oh, you're still getting the work done, huh?
Well, I mean, according to Xanathar's, since this thing costs so much money, I'll be working on it probably for the rest of the year.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Pesky Xanathar, huh?
Yeah, because,
Well.
like you can only put a certain amount of gold piece worth of work into a magical item per day, even if I, like, get all my assistants working on it. But that diverts business from, like, the town, and I want to make sure that the town's well outfitted to defend themselves against the increasing attacks of the local hill giants, etc., etc., etc. Yeah. Maybe if things calm down in the region, I can kind of get everybody on board to finish up this cloak, but, you can't rush perfection. And the lady, she definitely wants it to be perfect.
Indeed, she does. She is
What,
pretty excited.
What sort of cloak are you making there? That sounds like a lot of work.
Oh, yeah, she looks up and sees Sergeant Carrick Borgash for the first time. And despite her younger looks, she's approaching her late 30s or whatever. And when she sees this handsome grandpa across the bar, you see a ruddy brown blush run across her green skin, and she says, "It's a good cloak I'm making. It's real fancy. It's a fancy cloak."
Carrick, have you met Ula? We
No.
we did some work for her.
Got it. So what sort of cloak? I mean, if you're putting that kind of work into it, that sounds.
Oh, yeah. It's a cloak of displacement.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's quite an order.
Well, it's an often sought after item, and with the weird monetary pricing that's been assigned to magic items of 5th edition, because it has such a huge impact on gameplay mechanics, it's incredibly expensive. So, and the materials to get it are near impossible. Yet somehow, your fellows pulled it off. I guess before you joined up.
Yeah, it was before my time with them, but having traveled with them for a bit, they're surprisingly capable lot.
Well, I have to agree with that. They also managed to confirm that our local guardian, Claw Yulia Matar, is in fact alive and well.
I've heard that as well.
Yeah. You guys missed it. We had a small
So
festival
said,
for
if
the
you're done
other
with this
day.
Cloak, you'll be set.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's tens of thousands of gold. So yeah, I'll never need to work again if I don't want to. it'll be finally time for me to settle down and start thinking about the other things that are good in life. Besides killing and skinning and crafting.
Well, I guess
Well,
since you have nobody to
honest
give the
work,
rest of those
there's
items
something to
to...
be said for that.
What the hell?
I might get a boat. I'm thinking of maybe I'll get a boat.
A foldable boat.
No, just a regular boat. I'm thinking either Neverwinter or Waterdeep. So, was thinking about Saltmarsh because I hear it's an up and coming hotspot, but I don't know. I feel like they've got too much going on there right now.
I hear you. The monsters out there are so crazy. You get stronger with every fight. So you can feel it. Type of beasties you get out there.
Well, it's been nice catching up, but I really should be putting the maximum 8 hours a day into crafting this cloak, or I'm never going to get it finished. So,
you got any magic items, by the way?
Do I have any
for sale lately?
Any new stock for sale?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have been making sure that we've been keeping some rank 1 magical armor, studded leather, in stock, because there have been more and more adventurers on the road. A lot of scouts from the Emerald Enclave have been passing through the area, trying to keep them outfitted. We have made a couple of rank 1 magical slings. I don't know if that's something that you're interested in or not.
Nah.
Well, beyond that, I've just been staying real busy. So, yeah. Again, like finishing this cloak is pretty much all I can think about. So.
That's fair. That's fair. And you know what? I wish you the best with that. Whether it's Neverwinter or Water or Saltmarsh.
Well, it's good to see that you're still alive and kicking. Well, if you don't mind me asking, what brings you back to Westbridge?
We're gonna kill all the giants.
Oh, huh. All the giants, huh?
Yeah, well, starting with them hill giants about around here. We've heard a lot of issues been popping up about with those.
Oh,
so,
it's just
we're gonna
gotten
start mobilizing
worse and worse over the last few weeks. That's for sure. So, the people of Dessarin Valley, they're just getting their asses kicked. And everyone's south of here, like towards Belliard, Stonebridge, Red Larch, even as far south as like Wormford and the Barge Ride Inn, they're just starving. Like, they're just starving to death. Golden Fields, I mean, there's nothing left. Like, those giants came and they pulled the crops clean out of the ground. Took every animal they could find. People, too.
Damn.
I mean, if this keeps up, the area is really going to start to feel it. Westbridge, we're doing all right because we're close enough to like the trade roads and Tribor, and now that word of Claw Yilia Matar's return has sort of reached the giants, we sort of have a bit of an immunity going on. But it won't be long now before we just start getting filled up with refugees from the Southlands.
What were those towns again? If you don't mind my asking.
Sure. Stonebridge and Belliard. You can actually reach them by going out the west gate, traveling along the stone trail. They're the ones that get hit the hardest by the giants, for sure. If I had to guess, I would say that the giants' headquarters is, headquarters. They're too stupid for that, I guess. But the seat of their power, maybe? It's definitely near Stonebridge and Belliard. You know, in the Somber Hills. Now, Red Larch, if you head south out of town, you'll reach Red Larch, and they got hit pretty hard by some giants as well. But they've managed to bounce back a little bit. but then they're also constantly having to fend off raids from like ogres, orcs, goblins, and hill giants. So they've definitely got their hands full. Barge Ride Inn and Wormford, they're far enough south that they only get hit sometimes, but kind of like Golden Fields, they were one of the initial attacks by the hill giants, and they were decimated. They've been struggling to rebuild.
Thank you for that. It's our understanding that the leader of the hill giants has been hoarding food. We'll see if we can't redistribute some of that wealth.
Well, if she's been hoarding it, the rumors are true, right? They're led by a female?
Yes.
Yeah, real fat by the sound of it.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being fat. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that she's eaten all the food. I mean, we're talking about like an entire region's worth of food that's been stolen.
Exactly.
Well, it's also our understanding that she thinks she becomes more powerful the more weight she gains. But hopefully there'll be something.
Out of curiosity, out of morbid curiosity, just how big is she supposed to be? And she kind of leans forward, like morbidly curious.
I don't rightly know. Marcus said, did we hear anything about her actual size?
You know, I heard in one place from a source that she may be approaching the size of a small keep.
All right. Yeah, she kind of spits out some of her mead. And you hear from across the room, Rezo Brightguard say, "Oh, now that can't be true. Come now."
I'm just saying what I heard. It's secondhand.
Oh.
We're going to find out ourselves, though. I'll be sure to let you know when I'm...
She would have had to eat just about every single pig in all of Dessarin Valley. How big a keep are we talking about?
Oh, we're talking like maybe like a one tower, a small wall, no moat or anything like that. Just you know,
okay,
small build.
I see.
You know,
that doesn't actually sound too impossible.
See, that's what I thought too.
Now, I don't want to upset you boys, but how exactly are you planning to defeat a giant of that size and girth?
Well, we got flying dragons. They can't fly, so there's one plus.
Oh, it's true. I saw them outside of town. They got like 6 of them. Fire breathers.
We'll just drop rocks on top of them until they die. Or we'll just get down and beat.
You're not worried that they're gonna like throw rocks at you? I mean, isn't that what giants are famous for?
Oh, true. Well, I figure if I'm on top of the mount, and the rock comes from below, it'll hit the dragon before it hits me. I'll come to
Marcus
that bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Marcus has a gift to gab. I'll figure out a strategy by the time we get there. Don't you worry.
Oh, well, if you're feeling adventurous, I do have something that I made for fun based on like some schematics that got traded to me by some adventurers a while back. I don't think it will actually work, but I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna fall off a flying mount anyways, maybe you could try it.
What is it? Marcus has some trouble with mounts.
Well, it was some gnome. He had like a robot bear with him, but the schematics. He said he'd come up with the idea for something called a poopa shoot. Basically, you just like you have a backpack that's got like a big thin leather tarp in it, and when you fall, you pull on this cord. It opens up the backpack, and the tarp comes out, and it catches the wind, so that you don't fall to your death. I
What?
made
I'll
I
slap Marcus
Catch
on
the
the shoulder and
wind?
say, "That sounds perfect for you."
well, I made
How do
one.
you catch the wind?
I don't know. I made one out of curiosity, but I've never had the occasion to use it. I mean, I tried to jump off the roof of my, my house, but by the time I pulled the cord, I'd already hit the ground. So I think you have to, fall for a while before it actually, could do anything.
That's right. That's because feathers they fall real slow,
Mm.
right?
I mean, if you want it, you can have it.
Oh
You
hell
guys are
yeah!
mad.
I'll take it.
Okay.
You're absolutely insane. You're trusting a gnome to stop you from falling out of the sky.
All right, Marcus, you may add a pooper chute to your inventory.
How much does it weigh?
The pooper chute, it only weighs 20 pounds, but it does take up a backpack slot.
You know what? Does that interfere with my bag of hold?
Probably
Or
not.
no?
No.
Okay. Well, then we're good because I didn't have a backpack anyway.
All right. Now, it can be activated with an action or a reaction.
Ideal. I like this.
Okay. All right. She
Say,
says,
how much
yeah,
does it cost to
if
get
you ever
binding
if
made?
you ever have it happen to use it and it works, let me know how it turns out.
Oh yeah, we'll do. Crash. What if I used gust of wind up above me on it?
Then you could
Well-
probably hang glide with it, assuming you made a series of athletics/acrobatics checks. Otherwise, you'd probably mess yourself up pretty bad. I mean, that's
Yeah, you're
that's
right.
generally how things work with magic when you go off script with them. It could be huge gains. It could also be a disaster. All
By
right.
any chance, is she still offering us a discount on those purchased goods?
Which purchase goods? Because she's like, other than some +1 leather armor and +1 slings, like she's sold out. Like the wyvern hide studded leather she had, somebody purchased.
Oh no, I just need a if she's got just a basic +1 studded leather or a +1 shield.
Yeah, she has those available. It would
How
be
much
it'd be a
those?
leather shield though. Are you okay with it being a leather shield?
I'm not opposed to that. Magic tends to make them sturdy.
Okay.
Does anyone else hear Lars is a underwater robot?
I think we all hear that.
No,
I will reconnect.
he's come through all
Turn off
right
the
for me,
noise.
but maybe.
Try turning off the noise suppression if you have that active, Lars.
Oh, has that been causing problems for people?
It does give like a real underwater. Here, I'll show you right now. Testing. Hear it?
You
I don't
sound
know.
fine.
I have
had
it
mine
on.
since it started. No one's
Yeah.
complained about how it's been sounding.
Really?
Testing. How's Lars coming through?
That's way better.
It's better, yeah.
But then again, it could be just
Yeah,
the ebb
so
and flow of bandwidth.
studded leather armor +1, and shield +1. Those are each 1,500 gold. So I don't know if you're interested in those or not.
I'll come back after they hold giants.
Okay. Fair enough. Do you guys have any additional business in the town? Do you want to spend the night, or do you want to head out fresh? Or sorry, not head out fresh. Do you want to head out with the hours that you have left of daylight and investigate the ruined tower that's nearby? And nearby is relative now that you have flying mounts, of course.
That
I'd
farm
be
doing
down
okay?
for investigating the tower.
Yeah, the farm
I'm
is doing
for it.
okay. They have been fortunate that with the return of Claw Matar, other than a trio of female hill giant huntresses, and the Fomorians that the Sword Saints took care of, they have not had to deal with any giant attacks. And especially now that her presence is known to the region, they have been able to really focus on harvest and things like that. They are worried, Gyoza, that even with the bountiful harvest that your magic has been able to assist with, they will not have enough food to feed the region, and they are quite sure that within the next few weeks, the town will be flooded with refugees who will need food and shelter, and they are worried that they will be overburdened and unable to provide enough for everyone.
All right.
So, when they hear that you are intending to go and stop the hill giants, some of the farmers openly begin to weep from relief that you would take the time to help their community and the Dessarin Valley. And one of them tries to hug you.
He'd accept it.
Okay. Yeah. Seeing the one hug you, all of the farmers and farmer children and farm animals come over and they begin to hug you. All right.
Crash. Before I would have taken my leave of the tavern where we were having lunch. What name? Ula? Was that right?
Yeah, Ula Morninggore. Yeah.
A lot of work. I would have told her, hey, if you ever move away from Westbridge, just let me know where you end up. I'll come visit you.
Oh, yeah. Her eyes kind of sparkle a bit, and she says, well, I hope it's not just because I'm gonna be filthy fucking rich.
No, it's there aren't too many half-orcs about. It's always fun to spend time with someone.
Oh, yeah.
Like yourself.
That ruddy brown blush reappears on her face, and she quickly slams down the rest of her mead, grabs what is left of her stew and drinks it in one gulp, stuffs the bread into a belt pouch, throws down some coins, and rushes from the tavern. All right. As she heads to the door, she does turn back and give you a smile and a wink as she heads out the door.
I'll wink back.
So, I don't know if it's racist for me to be asking this, but if two half-orcs have some babies, do you end up with half-orc babies, or do you end up with orc babies and half-half babies, and sometimes half-orc babies?
I think a good mix, depending on how many kids you have.
Well, I don't want to rush you there, grandfather, but, she's a little bit older than she looks. If you're going to be starting a family, you better hurry up with these giants.
Mind your own business.
I will mind my own business. Can I interest you fellas in any food for the road?
Egan, you need any cheese?
I need some cheese.
Yeah, just cheese.
All right.
Cheese, please.
You want that by the wheel?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a wheel.
All right. Now we have to talk numbers, folks. How many wheels of cheese do you want, you cheese fiend? And what quality cheese are you after?
Yeah. What's the would you
This goes anywhere from 1 gold to 200 gold.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Looking for about 25 gold worth of cheese wheels.
Okay. So do you want 5 gold cheese wheels?
Let's do that. That's
okay. You can add 5 gold cheese wheels to your inventory.
Is that for everybody, or is that just for your
Scrap those
pet?
two.
Yeah, I don't think they'll last too long, so definitely for.
At this talk of food, Lars is gonna pop his gum in his mouth. What is my flavor of the day?
Yeah, so
get a bunch of cheese.
Each of these wheels of cheese weighs 10 pounds. So you have 50 pounds of cheese now, Egan.
Done.
All right.
That'll last that little buddy a while.
Yeah, this ain't Skyrim. So like sleep in the cheesy bed that you have made for yourself. So
Has anyone figured to ask or determine whether or not cheese is like catnip to wyverns or anything like, or hellkites, whatever they're called? I mean,
Ticklick informs you that they like to eat meat, especially meat they have burnt themselves.
all right. Just making sure that Egan's not gonna like walk up to them and be inadvertently
attacked
a giant
immediately.
snack.
Oh, fair. And you wanted to buy like a bushel of apples?
Can we get like a bag of apples? I don't.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
a bag of apples. Negligible cost for you guys. Negligible cost. So
okay. I mean,
Sorry,
if we're
it's-
gonna be eating a bunch of cheese, I think we need some apples to.
Yeah,
You know,
at least
consequences.
yeah, sure.
well, would you like to take some bread? I have some loaves of bread you could take. You make a nice sandwich with
We
the
have high
cheese
bread.
and the apples.
Apple cheese sandwiches.
What about a ham?
Sure.
I have a real nice salted ham you could take with you. Oh, you'd like 200 pounds of turnips?
Sure,
Yeah, I can get that. All right, one radish, certainly.
Wait, what are we doing with turnips?
I see my cooking has you boys working up an appetite. And she goes about the task of gathering the crazy grocery list you have given her.
As soon as she goes to leave to gather turnips, Lars is going to say, "I'm sorry, my lady. I was jesting.
Oh,
I was mocking the young one's obscene amount of cheese."
Okay. She does a good job at disguising her rage. Says, oh, okay. Just a bit of fun in these dire times.
If we stop smiling, the hill giants win.
That's fair.
That's so bad.
She is not amused. Judging by that character arc, she is not amused.
All right, then.
I forgot I have to actually click to make it go away. I have been staring at that character like awkwardly. It's like, what is she gonna stop?
So you have your 50 pounds of cheese, and you have your bag of apples, and your stale bread. Do you need anything else? Do you take the ham?
Well, I was gonna take the ham.
All right, yeah. For the bread and the ham and the apples, just mark off like 2 gold.
I can do that.
It is a
After that,
sizable ham. The ham is 35 pounds.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Maybe put the ham in a bag of holding before we go to the Hellkites.
I will put the ham in the bag of holding,
All right.
and
Does
I'll
that mean
pay
this
her
is some
3
real-
gold for the inconvenience.
Oh,
of,
okay.
Getting sassed by Lars.
Fair enough. All right.
So then, by standards, this is some really nice cheese. Then.
Oh yeah,
Wait, yeah,
it's
have we-
good cheese. It's like,
Okay.
yeah, it's not. I mean, again, there's people that'll pay 200 gold a wheel for cheese when they're buying by the wheel.
Have we fed the Hellkites today?
We could cut to the scene of Salem, Ticklick, and Gyoza trying to feed these things, or maybe they waited till Gyoza went off to the farm.
Tad and
Well,
Skippy.
yeah, I'm curious because like I'd be totally down to like maybe buy a pig or two.
Yeah, I'd be down to go hunting a little bit. I think a little hunting adventure.
Or yeah,
I think
hunting's a
hunting might
thing.
not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Not in the forest though.
Skiplick Ticklick does inform you that the Hellkites are fully capable of finding their own food and prefer hunting for fresh game, but it can be problematic in civilized areas because they have a natural affinity for killing things that people care about, like babies, children, and pets.
I could see that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think it might not be a bad idea if we stay in one place for a longer period of time, set up like rabbit snares and like bring them the rabbits, let them deal with them.
These are pretty big creatures.
Yeah.
I understand that. I'm just saying like long term. I mean, it's not going to help us right now, but just putting an idea out. Crash, would you say that bag of apples is, pretty big, like a 10-pound?
Oh,
bag
for
of
sure,
apples?
10-pound bag of apples.
All right. So where do you guys want to head?
I think some scouting is in order of that tower. And I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather not be taken unawares down the ground.
Yeah, your Hellkites, by the way, they require about 600 pounds of meat a day each.
Oh, Jesus.
Huh.
No, wait. Hold on. I'm misreading that. Hold on. Let's see.
I was gonna say, I think they probably weigh about 600 pounds or something, wouldn't?
Yeah, but if they're carrying us, that's an awful lot of calories.
I'd say they're also large flying creatures.
Sorry.
Carry us,
50 pounds of meat per day. 50 pounds of meat per day.
That's much more manageable. That's like a pig.
Yeah.
Or gnome.
Small pig.
Yeah.
Large gnome.
All right. Fair enough.
Can you just summon some creatures?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work like that.
Unfortunately not. Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Druidman, can you summon us some things for feeding time?
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I was looking at the 300. That would be all of them. Would be 300 a day. So yeah, 50 a day. Now they can go with less for sure, but they will become more and more aggressive if they are not well fed.
If we stop feeding them
Herd of
appropriately,
goats.
Lars is going to start surreptitiously smearing mustard and barbecue sauce on Marcus.
Yeah, like as dragons, they can go long periods of time without food, but they'll become more and more like lethargic and angry and ornery, like the longer they go without food. Ticklick informs you that 50 pounds a day each is their optimal diet.
Gotcha.
But that could be very difficult without, slaves or prisoners, or it kind of starts going through the list of things bad guys would feed to these things. Livestock.
We could get. What if we fed them hill giants?
That would definitely do it. Yeah.
Good idea. Oh, and Ticklick, if you'll just bear in mind for future reference, we're not in the habit of feeding people to the
Oh, yeah, of course not, because you're incredible heroes of great goodness.
Unless they're bad guys, maybe.
Oh,
yeah, for
but
sure bad guys.
Yeah, but if they're bad, I mean, I wouldn't judge you for a second if you felt like your moral code was flexible enough that you could dishonor the dead opponent by feeding it to a foul beast such as these. I respect anything you do. Yeah.
Yeah. Marcus nods proudly. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. No sense in just locking yourself in to one moral code. I mean, just make it up as you go along. That's fine. That's great.
I'm a complex person.
Yeah, exactly.
I like you, Ticklick.
Oh, well, I am flattered, and I think you're tremendous. Almost as great as this flying cat. Who is just amazing. Just amazing.
Almost.
So Crash.
Yes.
Important question. Very important question.
Sure.
Does Ticklick accept one of the morning good berries every morning? And the fishman.
If you tell him to, he will do whatever you tell him to do.
Okay, do the fishmen take good berries?
If Salem permits them, they will take one.
Okay. I got to keep track of these good berries.
After this conversation, I'll take Marcus aside and say, "Hey, just so you know, it kind of backfired. I didn't realize he was going to be sarcastic, but I asked him to, troll Salem, and Salem doesn't understand that he's being sarcastic."
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I just didn't want you to. It's bad enough that We've got Salem with a god complex. I don't need you having a god complex.
Oh no, yeah.
I mean,
no,
what with your
I
deity
got
thing,
you.
that would be in real trouble.
Oh, I'm not gonna try and tumble down that road, But yeah, don't worry about it. I just kind of wave it off. I've gotten used to it. I think eventually you probably will too. I suppose, but it's different folks, different strokes. But gotta let him.
Salem.
Yeah, I've been with him since I don't know, a couple months now. He takes a bit of getting used to, but it's
it still reminds me of some of the. You and I have different views of what's entertaining. I have served under too many Salems in my day, and yeah, not good.
So, back on the map, rumors of this tower place it south of the Stone Trail and west of Stonebridge. So you would actually go out the east gate, my bad, to reach the Stone Trail and head towards Stonebridge. So that chunky little X that I just drew is your destination if you are following up on the giant in the tower.
Hey guys, would y'all want to? Because I feel like, and this is pretty meta, but I feel like there's a whole bunch of quests available in all these towns that we've just never actually went to and accepted. I feel like we kind of, I don't know, this is my first campaign, but it feels like we've kind of been rushing the campaign. Should we stop by Stone?
Oh man, this is like a leisurely roll. Trust me.
Yeah.
If we're farming for good, let's see what we have to deal with after we kill the hill giants.
I remember speed running the Tomb of Horrors. I think this is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a matter of gold, let's see what we have to work with after.
So to put the pace of your campaign in perspective, Lost Mines is usually takes about 8 to 12 sessions. Yeah, you guys did 24, I believe, sessions for Lost Mines. This particular campaign does take about a year, I've heard, from like start to finish. And so with you guys being in like the 50s or so, you're actually just about on track because you're at like 30-ish sessions, with like 50-ish sessions being kind of the thing. You have at this point more than crossed the halfway mark of the campaign. So just to kind of keep that in perspective. So yeah.
If this was a video game, we would go to Stonebridge and Bellyard and like go accept all the quests before we go kill the trolls for free. So I don't know.
Well, keep in mind that in a video game, when you hear about something, that something stays there until you go to it, because like you're the thing, you're the driving force of the whole game. But in Dungeons and Dragons, the world just keeps moving without you.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's one of the hardest things as a D&D player to realize that the whole world like exists without your characters. Like other adventurers will come along, quests will expire, bad guys will succeed because nobody went and stopped them. Entire areas will rise and fall because action wasn't taken or was taken. Yeah, it's a totally different experience. So,
just like my marriage.
Yeah. which we're celebrating tonight. Which we're celebrating.
Yeah. 10 years. 10 years. We have that.
Yeah. I understand. Quarantine can make it hard. Yep. They should have. Everybody should have a 30-day quarantine before they get married.
That's true.
Yeah. Did you survive? I guess you could get married now. All right. So, all that being said, the stone, the the ruins of the tower lie about, I want to say, 20-ish miles from your current location. 20, 25 miles. You do have your flying mounts. You do have the nice weather working for you. 20 miles, no sweat. You guys can get there in a little over 2 hours. Yeah.
We're going to the tower, correct?
Yeah, flying mounts. That's
Yeah.
that's what's up. That's what's up.
I mean, with our luck, while fighting the hill giants, we destroy Stonebridge, so we might as well just go fight the giants and see what happens.
All right. So let's see these here ruins. As you approach, you see that there is in fact a ruined stone tower. This ruined stone tower is so significant that I might actually have flavor text for it.
Ooh.
Yeah. Let me double check. There it is. You spot a crumbling tower atop a hill. From your current location in the sky, it's about a quarter of a mile away. Parts of its conical roof and outer shell have fallen inward, leaving a gaping hole, above which brightly colored hawks circle. Alright. From this distance, it is hard to tell what the hawks are, but they are bright red. So you can attempt a knowledge nature check to see if you recognize what they are. They are not particularly big, but I guess they're bigger than a normal hawk. Let's see.
I think any of us are perfect.
I have no idea what they are. Says
Okay.
the druid.
All right.
If no one will make the check, I'll make the check.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is
Trained in nature to make the check.
I think we found this out last time that nobody is.
Well, Lars is sometimes, but he took sleight of hand today because he was in town.
Does anyone
that's
have does anyone have an intelligence modifier that's positive?
Lars
Anyone
does.
have an
I have an intelligence modifier that isn't negative.
Marcus looked away.
Lars has a +1.
All right, Lars, you're up.
Wow.
Get it, Lars.
Okay.
There we go.
They are bloodhawks. Bloodhawks are a more aggressive species of hawk, and they are small size instead of tiny. And they have an interesting ability for a bird. They have pack tactics, which is kind of interesting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have dragons.
Oh yeah. I mean these are like CR 1/8 creatures, but you know.
Yeah, but have you ever seen a mockingbird attack a bigger bird?
I actually have
It's-
not.
No.
It's ridiculous.
I have.
Is it successful?
Usually,
Yep.
they're very aggressive.
I know what YouTubing I'm doing. when we're doing
Crash,
the session.
permission to buzz the tower.
I mean, if you do you guys want to do a flyover? I mean, you can do a flyover on the tower.
Correction, permission to buzz the tower.
All right, you want to fly as close to the tower as possible? Is that
He wants to knock the tower over.
No, I don't want to block.
Okay.
I'm attempting a Top Gun reference,
Top Gun.
and clearly
Yep.
someone's objecting to it, so maybe I won't.
No. I mean, if you want to do it, it's totally cool with me. I'm okay
I
with
want
it.
to, but I hear some objections in the background.
I didn't hear objections at all. I think we should.
I
do
didn't
it.
hear. Yeah, I
Alright.
didn't hear any objections.
As you guys fly closer, I'll just move you over to the map. It is a very
Yay.
small. It is a very small map. So,
I'll summon Doctor Who as we get close, so
Okay.
you can come with.
all right. So each of your Hellkites, you should have individual control over the individual Hellkite. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I didn't re-link them after I made them for you, so they're all going off of the OG Hellkite miniature. All right, hold on. Let me fix that real quick. All right.
Mine's name is Lucky.
Oh, I see that. That explains it. I duped them, but I didn't update the miniature, which... Let me do that. While I'm doing this, you guys should probably figure out what your strategy is going to be. If there is in fact, yeah.
So, here's the theory, guys. This is just a tower, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
jump
maybe
off,
60
turn it-
feet across the tower. Maybe
turn
60
it
feet across.
X's, and drop through the roof.
It's a big tower. Is it like a castle tower? Are we talking like a
Well,
mud
yeah, I mean,
tower?
it used to be like a fortified tower. Probably adventurers built it back in the day. You got to understand, in 2nd edition, whenever you got to 10th level, you just got a tower.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
Oh, see, I never played that.
I'm sorry. We don't have T-Rexes, but we have mammoths.
I would suggest that maybe Lars sort of like jumps
Mammoth
off his
dive bomb.
Hellkite lands. Let's not just bomb the tower. Hold on. Jumps off his Hellkite and lands on the roof
telling you,
and
man,
sort
it
of
works.
has a look. I'm sure it works. I'm suggesting more subtle approach.
Roll20 running so slow while I try to set up these stupid Hellkites. I tried to do it before the session.
Image of like Lars jumping down, like totally sticking an acrobatics check, looking super awesome, and then all of a sudden it turns out like
There's
like
a whole bunch of
somehow-
enemies just sitting on the roof looking at you.
yeah, it, like it just exactly.
Well,
Just gets
then
absolutely swarmed.
One of them holds
It's
up a 10 sign.
It can't be worse
actually
than
Hellkite.
pumpkin spiders.
Wow.
Can't be worse than that.
Yeah.
Well, then Lars and Kira can go together if you're that worried about it.
No, I'm willing to at least. I mean, as we get closer to, we'll at least have sight on the tower. It's still like daytime, right, Crash? Like.
Yeah, I mean it's heading towards sunset at this point. But yeah.
And so like, didn't somebody say that like there were 3 of these giants and like one had hawks and one had something else?
No, there's only one left
Can
alive.
Well, there's one left alive, but can we assume that those are her?
Probably, if they're still circling, I would wager that's a good.
So I throw that out there
hypothesis.
as a.
That's true. They did mention hawks in their reports of these essentially Beastmaster Ranger giantess. That was actually a quest you guys could have done when you were in Westbridge the last time you were here. So let's see. Shattermaw. That's a cool name.
Take that into account when thinking about and recon.
Oh, and bears. Wasn't there some mention of bears?
Oh my!
One of them, yeah, he said one of them.
No,
had
just bears. That lines of tigers and bears.
Oh, sorry.
No, just giants, tigers, and bears. I mean, giants, hawks, and
my.
bears.
Oh my!
And orcs. Don't forget that there was a rumor that she has an orc friend.
But that could be Ugg using the various
Or
creatures
it
that
could be
have
them
clung to
using
her
Ugg.
group.
It could be them using Ugg as like a
Guh.
safeguard.
Guh.
Excuse me.
Somebody named their Hellkite you?
Yeah, I don't. It's just like he's just gonna be like, you come here.
That's
all
like
right.
naming your dog
like it.
dog.
Yes, it is the equivalent of naming your dog, and I just couldn't think of anything better in the moment.
Okay. I definitely
it's
have
orcish or
concerns
something.
for the big map that you guys are going to eventually, for the hill giants, because since it's the giants, it's a huge map. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm
Another
gonna
map to scale.
I'm gonna be running 2 instances of it. So I'm really excited to see how my browser holds up. Running 2 Roll20 instances of this huge ass map. All right, so these guys should have registered tokens now. I hope to God. And let me drag you guys over. There we go. And Roll20 is like, that's too much. You've done too much. I'm going to have to leave adorable fish folk and kobolds off, just because eventually it's just going to be too many miniatures for what we're trying to do here. But on this small map, I'll bring you over so you can kind of see what's going on. All right. Let me see if we have some other music we could play. Yeah, we'll play some gianty type music here. This is a little too chill. It's putting me to sleep.
I can select Salem's Hellkite, but not my own.
I know. I think we just move our stuff. For now.
Oh. It's kind of weird.
Mine.
I kind of dig it though.
Oh, I can select Marcus's Hellkite, but not mine.
What the hell, guys? How do you... Well, oh, you mean because of where you're placed?
No, like the one that's under Marcus.
Yeah. I don't have their name tags on. They all look the same to me. So whatever one you can control, that's yours for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Everyone find their Hellkite.
Which one is assigned to Dustin?
Everyone find yours and then give it a color dot.
Yeah. If your Hellkite survives the Hill Giant Arc, you can submit custom art for it, and I will make a custom miniature for it. But until it's proven itself by surviving the Hill Giant Arc, you just have to look like everybody else's Hellkite. All right. So
I think you grabbed Duskin instead of Gyoza by accident.
What? That's crazy talk.
But Duskin's here and Gyoza's not.
Alright.
There's Gyoza. And there goes Dustin.
Hey, there we go.
Alright.
Gyoza is Duskin.
I'm just deleting Duskin. Here we go.
Dustin is Gyoza's father.
I'll never have to accidentally select you again. I hope I didn't just delete Gyoza. Oh well. Alright, let's keep going.
No,
Alright. This is why you have to character vault all the time. Yeah, so as you guys do a flyby, buzz the tower, pilot terms, etc., the Bloodhawks, the Bloodhawks squawk in outrage.
So handsome.
Yeah, but seeing that you got freaking wyverns with you, they kind of take cover in the stones and the rafters of the roof. You do briefly see the lovely hill giantess as you fly by. And seeing the silhouettes of dragons, multiple dragons, she has taken shelter under the destroyed staircase and is just sort of taking the dodge action and hoping against all odds to survive what comes next.
Ah, she's terrifying looking.
That's very impolite.
So ugly.
What?
Oh, that's me.
Oh, man,
First of all,
Hey, Marcus, I only know your appearance by reputation. You're not really a great looker to me.
look,
What?
like, first of
Why
all,
are
let
they
me
so
let me
wide?
drop a history lesson on you, okay? Female giants are often much more beautiful than male giants.
Absolutely.
Okay, and I think as hill giants go, especially the females that you have seen, this lady is a goddamn Disney princess. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
true.
Okay. All right.
True. Marcus is just that shallow.
All right. Fair enough.
We're not instantly throwing up like we were at the Hill Giant orgy. So
Yeah, that's
Marcus, Yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
what?
fair. Anyways,
That
Anyway, moving.
we take any opening to strike them when they don't expect it. Let's just say that.
they were very low level, and they were tired of being beaten up by the giants, so they took advantage of the giants at their most vulnerable. All right.
Yeah, and we got them. We
A couple of
showed
them still
this.
have clubs in hand.
What is your
Oh,
what is your
guys.
plan? This woman is obviously terrified and has
Are we
sought
just-
shelter in the ruins.
Are we just storming the fort? Is that the plan?
How
I
about
think
we try talking to her and get some information?
None of us speak giant.
We don't know if she doesn't speak common.
Marcus knows tongues.
Yeah, don't worry. I have tongues.
He also
mean,
has a spell that lets him speak other languages.
We all
Nice.
have
Have a
tongues,
what?
Marcus.
Hey yo.
All right. You hear a low, mournful song begin to rise up from the ruins, amplified by the acoustics of the tower. The singing is horrible. It is a deep, guttural dirge with a lot of like throat vibrations. But the song itself is full of sorrow, regret, and I guess the acceptance of a coming doom.
All right, Marcus, you're up.
All right, I'll land.
Okay.
I'll land with Marcus.
Marcus, if you could give me an intimidation or animal handling check, I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah. Here goes the... Yeah!
All right.
With
Your
the command word,
yeah, your Hellkite lands, no problem. Karak, this is a more stressful situation, so can I get a intimidation or animal handling?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the creature bows to your superior intimidation and force of will, and it lands no problem.
Okay.
There does seem to be an entrance here that has been blocked with a massive boulder. You estimate that any creature that could have rolled this boulder into place would have to have been a giant.
Ah.
Are we here to kill her? No, right?
Yes.
Well,
I don't think so.
she was part. We're assuming she was part of the trio that attacked town. But, let's.
Well, what about that
doesn't
story
hurt to
about the one locked away or something like that? That's what came to mind.
Well,
let's gather some information. Let's talk to her first.
Yeah. Or maybe I'm just imagining things. I'll cast tongues on myself.
no, I mean, you did hear a story about a giantess who was locked away in a tower. I mean, this is a tower and there is a giantess in there.
That was the bard, right? The bard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, cast tongues on myself.
Okay.
And I am gonna walk towards where I can see in between the boulder and oh, there she is.
All
See,
right.
like a hint of something there.
Yeah, she
And I'm gonna kind of walk up and shout.
Okay.
"Hello."
Oh,
I'm
okay.
shouting common.
Well, but
for
because
now.
of tongues, she hears it in her her own native language.
Actually, no. It only allows me to understand any spoken language.
When you
Read
speak,
the second half.
yeah, read your whole
Oh,
read your whole spell, baby. Read your whole spell.
Oh.
Yeah. Otherwise, you would want a refund from your 3rd level spell slot. Yeah.
I'd take it.
Because that would be
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah. All right. So as you speak, everyone hears you in their preferred language, and this lady, hearing your tinkling silver bell of a voice speaking in giant, she peers out from underneath the stairs. Who goes there?
Do I need to speak?
I-
She doesn't understand.
Moog here's tiny man with beautiful voice. Moog been alone long time. Moog not had man in longer time. Maybe Moog is
Oh no.
imagining things.
You did cast tongues.
She lets out a horrible squawk, and the birds tentatively come out of hiding and begin to kind of fly about, nervous about the Hellkites. One of them does catch sight of you, Marcus, and fly over to her. Moog not crazy. Small man, what do you want? Are you here to kill Moog?
So the wording on the spell is kind of confusing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna speak to her in common,
Mm-hmm.
and she doesn't understand, right?
No. All right, walk through it with me, right? When you have tongues, you understand everybody, and everybody understands you. That's all you have to know.
Oh, that's so weird. Okay, cool.
Yep.
That's fine. All right.
Mm-hmm. You are the creature that you touched, right? Because you gave tongues to yourself.
Yes.
So you have the ability to understand any spoken language that you hear. So she's speaking in giant, but you hear it however you need to hear it to understand it. And then she knows a language, so since you're talking, she hears you in the languages that she knows.
Gotcha.
But the birds,
so-
right, don't have a language on their character sheet, so they can't understand you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, understandable. Understandable. All right.
No worries.
I will say, Moog, was it? I am Marcus. We are the Sword Saints. We come here to investigate what you may be doing here. We are no enemies, if you would speak with us.
Oh, you Marcus, know Moog's name already.
I heard you say your name.
Huh?
Yes, I know your name, Moog.
Oh.
Hello.
Are you bounty hunter? Are you sent by small folk for revenge?
No.
Oh. Okay. Oh, you are very, very small.
Yes, I am small.
But handsome orc with you.
Yes, very handsome friend.
Oh. You
And
and
I
you
motion
and your
at him,
you and your
and-
handsome friend should come inside. And she sits down
I'm
on the
saying-
ruined stairs.
Yeah, I'm saying this in common, so you understand what I'm saying.
We all understand you. anyways,
Everyone
Marcus.
understands Marcus. 100%.
right, yeah,
Everyone
that's right,
understands you.
yeah,
No matter
okay.
what language you
Okay.
speak, they understand you.
Okay, got it,
And she
got it.
drags from underneath the stairs this dead giant elk. And she's like, we can eat this together.
You want us to eat with you?
Yes, come inside.
I will real quick turn to Kara and say she wants us to eat a fucking elk with her. I'm not sure if this is like a ritual or giant thing or what. Do we do it? Or...
Come on, let's go. Dinner's
All
dinner.
right, well.
This
I'll try to
this
squeeze in.
food belongs to Moog, not to Guh. And the way she says Guh is full of anger and hatred.
Oh, okay. Can I squeeze in through here?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll squeeze in first.
Okay.
And motion for Garrick.
She just grabs the fucking elk, and you hear a rending of bone and sinew and flesh, and she just throws you one of its legs. The effortlessness that she tore it free indicates that she is very strong.
I see.
You do see.
Ask her if it would be, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you do see that she has a side quiver of giant arrows, and that she does have a massive longbow leaning against the wall, in addition to a rather well-made great club. It does not just look like a fucking tree. It looks like somebody actually carved it and tried to make it look nice.
Would I have had the sense to get a description of the giants when I was asking around in town?
Yeah. Their leader had a long braid or ponytail top knot, and facial piercings, large hoop earrings, big goofy ears. Used a massive longbow and commanded a flock of bloodhawks.
Alrighty.
All right. It could be this giant. It could be anybody, though.
They might all look like this.
That's true. That's true. Are we
I'd
sure
have-
this is...
I would ask Marcus to ask Moog if it would be rude if we were to light a fire and roast the elk leg.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll say, is it okay if we cook it? Our small people's stomachs are weak, but we love food.
Moog love smell of cooking food. Please, feel free.
Okay, yeah, that's all right. And
Moog happy to
I'll,
have guests and such lovely men. And the way she says men, this girl thirsty.
oh,
Yeah. It's been a long time, Marcus. You could hear it in her voice, the quaver in her voice. It's not like when you were hanging out with Sister Gorell a few days ago and she was like, "Oh, it's Marcus. That's cool."
Wait.
Yeah.
Is she speaking moistly?
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Marcus,
Yeah.
at what she says, like Marcus kind of like would infer the hint and kind of cringe smile, like haha, you know, like.
And she blushes and says, "Oh, Moog just being a flirt. Moog's heart belongs to only one giant, Hrock." And then she kind of puts her hand over her heart, and she lets out a sigh when she says, Hrock.
Oh, bro.
I'm sorry, I lost all audio for a minute.
Oh yeah, her heart. She just she admits that she's being flirty, but that her heart belongs to only one giant, and his name is Hrock.
Yeah, I'm relaying this, I guess, to Carrick as we go.
Ask her who Hrock is and where is he?
Yeah. Who is Hrock?
She kind of tears up a little bit, and she says, Hrock is my special man. He stolen from me by Chief Guh. Chief Guh take everyone's husbands away. She say all the meat in Dessarin Valley belong to her, even the man meat.
Oh.
Then, when we stand up to her, she banish all lady giants from tribe. Now she only lady giant left, have all meat to herself.
She took everyone's man meat. And meat.
She used her massive corpulent form to seduce my man.
Corpulent.
Oh man, that sounds like Ugh.
I do not hold Truck accountable though, for if he did not make the sweet love to her, she would surely have eaten him. Plus, Truck not very smart. None of the menfolk are. Without us ladies to keep them safe, they would probably die.
Marcus nods and then follows up, do you want to...
Oh, she blushes and covers her face. I told you, I only love one man. His name is Hrock.
No.
But I suppose if you promise not to tell anyone, it only fair since he making the sweet love to Chief Guh. We can do it maybe 5 times. And she starts to unbuckle her clothing and kind of...
No. What if we save Hrock?
Oh, you can save Hrock? That impossible.
Yes.
You would have to defeat Chief Guh. And she is the size of a mountain.
That's bigger than a keep. I mutter under my breath next to Carrick.
Wait, who's bigger than a keep?
Guh is bigger than a keep.
Wait, is she speaking seriously or is she just speaking hyperbolically?
I don't know, but we'll find out eventually. Yes, I think we can kill Guh. Would we come to stop Guh from hurting all the small people and the giant?
She rushes you. Do you try to defend yourself?
I
shoot an arrow at her.
Flinch, but no. I'll flinch, but
Okay.
no.
She picks you up and she hugs you tight. You feel many of your ribs threaten to break. She sobs against you and says, "You are my hero. I am like Princess in Tower. You come to save me."
Yeah, yeah, Rapunzel.
And she puts you down, and then she kind of backs up a little bit. "If you going to save my man, I would like to go with you. I do not want to live alone anymore. Would rather die trying to save Hrock than live in this tower alone any longer. Had friends, but
they were killed by smallfolk.
Do you speak smallfolk language?
Apparently, I am speaking to you.
Fair. That's fair. Okay. We would be glad to have you help us. Do you know the way to Guh and how to find?
Yes, I would never forget. Path to home. Not
Oh,
far.
that's good.
A few days. Through hills.
Okay. Then yes, we would eat with you, and we would have you help us, and we would kill Guh with you.
Mm. And you would make sweet love?
Well, I thought you wanted to make sweet love with Ruck.
Oh, right. Yes. It's just been so long. Very lonely.
I understand. I'll get Ruck, and I'll see if I can take well, just Ruck, or you want other giants?
She blushes.
Shrock only giant for me. But if
Oh, okay.
if you are killing Chief Guh, Moog would like to talk to you about future of giants.
With you leading them, maybe.
Right.
Wait,
Moog has learned much. Small folk too tough. It bad for giants to mess with small folk. If Moog in charge, giants mind their own business, stay in high hills, and make own animals, not steal any.
Can I get like a insight check or something?
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
Yeah. You're impressed by Moog's forthright honesty and confidence that she could lead the giants into a less aggressive stance.
Yeah. I'm Carrick. I'm guessing you'd be like setting up a fire or whatnot, roasting elk, whatnot, while listening.
Trying to. I can only understand you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell him the information of what she's telling me, and I'll turn to her and I'll say, "Let me discuss with my other small allies outside, and then we will let you know what we will do. Right now, wait just a small moment of time."
Moog, wait as long as it takes, great prince.
Okay. And I'll step out while Carrick entertains our new friend.
Wait, I'm entertaining her.
All right. She kind of
cooking with him.
as he leaves, yeah, she kind of cozies up with you, and then like that scene from Ghost, she kind of puts her arms around you to show you the right way to tear the flesh off of the bone. And she murmurs to you in Giant, and it just sounds like a fucking tractor trailer engine, just kind of like.
Do you speak common or orc by any chance?
She just sort of purrs against you as she takes your tiny arms and hands and guides them into the flesh and gore of this body. She takes a deep breath as she smells your man musk and kind of buries her nose against the top of your bald head.
I feel like purring is like, it feels like you're just sitting against an engine.
Just say the safe word and Lars will shoot her with an arrow.
No. I'll come out. I'll say it's okay. I think she's very safe, and I'll relay all the information of what the conversation transpired between me and Moog.
All right. So what are we gonna do? Like hike it there with the Hellkites?
Why
Honestly,
can't we
Lars
just
thinks you're
fly?
I mean, she can walk pretty
I
She's
mean,
definitely got a faster walking speed than us.
yeah, giants have a speed of 40, and she is technically an NPC ranger, so she can traverse wild areas at twice the speed of normal people. So yeah,
That's
she
as fast as our flying.
yeah,
mount
so she
almost,
could
then.
keep pace with your flying mounts.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
The fact that this giant has any class levels at all, even NPC class levels, indicates that she is in fact of a more advanced and sophisticated, DNA gene pool, I guess, than your average hill giant.
She's not.
Yeah, we
No harsh
want her
lad.
to spread her genes. amongst
Before
everyone.
before we continue, why are we not just killing her?
Now, Marcus,
she's
you do
hot.
hear her kind of singing to Carrick in her horrible singing voice, and she's singing him the ballad of the great hero Unak, who was an Orog, and an Orog is a half orc, half giant.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, that sounds like something Carrick would be interested in if he could understand. I should have.
Yeah.
Oh well. I'll just go ahead and relay the information. But for Leona in specific, she wants to. If we could put her in the seat of power as opposed to Guh, then that would mean de-escalation with all the giants, and I believe that would be very efficacious. Marcus says.
So hold on. So she who led the raiding party against the towns is telling you that if she were in charge, she'd make them be peaceful?
You would
Because she
rather
learned
a
that,
different hill giant be in charge of the hill
Yeah,
giants?
should we just kill this one and not use her to help us with Guh, or?
Yeah, she says she learned how strong the smallfolk are. As far as that goes, I'm assuming the raiding party was something that didn't work out because she was banished along with all the other hill giant women.
Yeah, 2 of them.
She seems intelligent.
So we're gonna ally with her just because she happened to be a failed raider.
Would
A
you
failed
rather
raider that learned from
a
her past?
different-
I want to say potentially. Marcus did the insight. You know, he believes it. He believes that she's correct about changing her ways.
If you vouch for her, Lars will go with it, but he has some pretty serious misgivings. But Marcus is vouching that he thinks she's legit. So I'm okay with it.
Now, that being said, she is a hill giant, and Marcus hates hill giants.
Careful what Marcus says out loud, because she can understand every word.
No,
you
this
say.
is me out of
For,
character.
for an hour.
Marcus
Okay,
wouldn't,
just being-
Marcus wouldn't. Yeah. Marcus
I know,
wouldn't
right?
say
I hate her.
this in character. No, yeah. He's out of character.
I
But, like,
plan on killing her the second we get her out of this house.
no. So
Kier-
it's like-
Carrick is gonna shout out, "Hey, can you guys hurry up on your decision making? I feel a little
Yep.
outnumbered in here."
Yeah, be right there, Carrick. Just a few more seconds.
Just keep on play acting as if you're a pizza dough. It's okay.
And like my reasoning is that essentially, if this is exactly what Marx would say without like giving too much of a hint, like if something goes wrong, we can deal with it, and we'll just make sure to keep an eye on that scenario possibly happening, is what I'll say without like explicitly saying what we'll
you
do.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, in case she's listening.
Nope. Lars is okay with that explanation. It's just, remember, you walked in, you had your conversation, you come on, and you're like, hey, she's gonna travel with us. Like, wait, what?
Well, I mean,
I took it to mean Marcus kind of did a full info dump, right? You didn't withhold anything from your conversation.
yeah,
Okay, so yeah, you
definitely
guys would
full
have
info dump.
the same info that he had.
Wait. So you're telling me you turned down praying with her?
She doesn't pray. She's a ranger.
Uh-huh.
That's more of Gyoza's territory. Gyoza would
Everyone
know friends with her.
Marcus.
All right. Yeah, she's doing that throat humming, chanting thing, and just sort of rocking Carrick back and forth in her lap. Carrick is mostly just kind of covered in elk blood at this point. One of the bloodhawks is nuzzling against him, kind of eating bits of blood and flesh off of him as the mess is just made worse and worse. Despite all this, Carrick, you are managing to cook the meat. It smells nice.
It's a little odd. He looks
is.
like a newborn giant baby.
He kind of does. It's a good look.
It really is.
wouldn't say-
Well, you guys, I mean, would y'all be in agreement? Is that all right then?
Yep.
All right. Fair enough.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I'll go back and let her know what happened, what we decided. Yeah. We will travel with her.
Moog is overjoyed. She sees all of your many companions, and she says to you, Marcus, you, Marcus, have many males with him.
Yes, small males, yes.
It's been long time since Moog lay with male. Chief Guh,
Don't worry.
steal all males away from us. Keep meat for herself.
I see. Don't
Moog,
worry. we get
Moog
rough
like
for
this
you.
one.
Take one
Huh.
for the team,
It-
Carrick.
This one yours, Marcus?
I will say out loud, and even though he can understand, he is my mate.
Oh.
He has my heart.
All right, her face grows concerned and embarrassed, and she flings Sergeant Carrick Borgash at you as if he was just a rag doll, and she says, "Moog, sorry. Moog know what it like to have tyrant take away man you love
It's okay. It's
from
okay.
from one beautiful intelligent woman to another. Moog is sorry, Marcus."
Gyoza, did you know
It's
this?
okay. Moog. It's okay.
Did you know that
I
Marcus
didn't.
and Carrick were
I
a
didn't
thing?
know. They hit it so well.
Carrick is gonna whisper to Marcus, "Do I need to play something?"
No.
Lars.
All right.
Lars, did you know this?
So Moog goes about the task of kind of setting things up. She lays out some skins for you guys to sleep on, and kind of gets everything nice. And she takes like a big ass broom that she made out of like some sticks and twigs, and she sweeps the place up a little bit. And embarrassed, she says, "Moog, not expecting company. Please don't mind the mess." And she just starts kind of picking things up.
It's okay, Moog. We thank you for letting us stay here. We leave in the morning. The next.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll go ahead and step out for a second, and I will let them know we can stay here until next morning, and we can have the Hellkites hunt in the area for now.
Yeah, but I'm more interested. How long have you and Carrick been a thing?
It was just to handle that situation. That's all.
Lars is gonna speak in his, lovely high lilting elven voice and say, as long as Egan and I have, in case the giantess asks.
Wait,
Hold
on.
I look
Wait,
and I
Lars,
say,
you and
okay.
Egan?
I'm just.
I
I feel
will
so
walk up
alone.
and I will whisper to Salem, "No, we're not actually a thing. I'm just telling her so she doesn't start, body impaling us into her. You know
No.
what I mean?"
Marcus, friend. Moog confused. Marcus is woman?
Marcus is very pretty.
Wait,
Yes.
is she asking Carrick?
No, she's asking in giants, Marcus, if Marcus is a
Okay.
woman. Because it's starting to make sense to her why he wouldn't take her up on her offer and why you're her special man. Because and why he's so Marcus is so intelligent. It all adds up to her. Marcus must be a female of his species.
Yes.
Oh,
That's what I gathered. Yes, I'll tell her. Yes, I am.
That makes sense to Moog. Moog need let you know strategy for dealing with Chief Guh. You have time to talk?
Yeah, after clearing up the misunderstanding.
I am so confused.
I will head back in. I'll say, come on in, guys. And we'll make sure Ticklick handles the Hellkites, obviously, so they don't fly off or whatever.
Hey, I
Unless they're
don't know.
hunting there.
Now, Grudhog is full of orcs, goblins, hobgoblins, ogres.
Marcus, any chance you can cast tongues on me so we can have a couple heads in on this conversation?
I mean, if you're gonna long rest anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I decided. Yeah, after realizing what's going on, yeah, at this point, I think we're safe to say I can do that. I'll go ahead and cast tongues on Carrick, on Gyoza, on. Let me just cast another one on. Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sure. Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll assume then that you guys got in on the conversation about the orcs, goblins, hobgoblins, and ogres.
Hobgoblins very smart. Make weapons for giants. Build house for giants. Fix house for giants. Orcs very good with animals. Orcs help raise animals. Orcs have pet wolves. Orcs hire Etin. Etins come in and raise pigs.
Now, is this a alliance of convenience?
Don't play dumb, man.
Is this at Guh's instruction, or is this
Guh very smart. No, Guh always smart. Guh always good leader. Just Guh so greedy, so hungry now. Ever since ordering happened. Guh change. Her appetite's stronger, bigger than ever. But Guh always been very smart.
And she points to her head.
Guh no giants not so smart. Guh always get smart people to do jobs. Even goblins have purpose. Goblins very smart and very small, not get in the way. But goblins can also cook and clean and take care of slaves and prisoners.
Goblins do capture prisoners, yes. They handle that. Yeah. They just they make yeah.
Now you have advantage. Moog saw Marcus cast many spell. Giants, hill giants not like magic. No, not much magic, if any, at Grudhog.
Are they scared of magic?
Yeah.
They
attack someone who uses magic.
Yes. No kill magic maker good. Chief Guh teach that.
Lars is gonna look at the party as all this discussion is going on and kind of nod his head like up the stairway, as if to suggest he would like to go explore and just see what the reactions are.
Well, I think it's a broken stairway, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's like a little bit of a landing up there if you wanted to check it out, but Mostly she's just been using it as like a shelter.
No stashes or anything.
I mean, you could look around if you want to, but
Lars wants to, but he's not sure. I'm not one of the tongued ones, so I don't know exactly what the things are being said. So he's gonna look to the others to see if they would like superimpose him
I
slinking off.
shrug if he tries to make any motions on anything like that or try to signal.
I mean, she doesn't seem too possessive of these ruins.
Yeah.
Then Lars will just poke around and see what's what.
Okay. Lars, go ahead and give me an investigation. Yeah. As you search through the ruins and the rubble, you do find, beneath some cracked stones, a chest. The chest is in very bad shape, as is the lock that keeps it closed.
All right. I'll do a quick once-over for traps.
You doubt that this chest would ever accommodate a trap. It is that shitty.
There we go. And then I will try to work the really lousy lock.
Okay. Inside the chest, you pop the lock. Inside the chest is 300 silver pieces, a small crystalline orb, roughly the size of an apple or tennis ball, and a coil of rope that seems to be in very good condition.
I muted myself. I will tip the chest into the bag of holding for dispersal later.
Okay. All right. Moog is much too distracted, flirting with boys and eating food and explaining about Grudhog. She pays no notice to you and what you are up to. Some of the birds watch you, but they don't seem to care. They're just kind of...
I would whisper to Marcus. Maybe you should ask her how long she's been here, just to confirm our thoughts. And can I ask her some questions? I mean, we gotta know about the layout of the... Have her draw a plan, something, so we know how to attack.
Yeah, I'll ask her a few questions. And, I'll ask her those questions like how long have you been here? Since you left Hill Giants.
Your basic understanding is over a month. She has been banished.
Why did she attack the smallfolk town?
Because they had no food.
They were starving. Okay. And about the following up on what Carrick said at the end, about the area. Is there anything we need to watch out for besides the orcs, hobgoblins, and goblins?
Hill giants.
Well, I mean, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything? Is there like a secret room or anything that Guh hides in, or can she fit?
No, Guh in throne room. Grudhog is two shapes. There's two shapes, one shape on top of other shape. They're, goats. Goats. And near goat is hill. Hill go up to door. And door is throne. On throne is Grud.
So the throne is on the top.
Yes. Below is pigs.
Where are the slaves?
Which pigs?
So the small folk are with the pigs.
Yeah. Hobgoblin they live in small buildings. Like this. This where they make the weapons. This where they keep lookout. This watchtower. This eyeball. Like this. Yes.
So this is where they make things and look out. Does it have
also
2 levels?
Hard to set fires, cause river keep Grudhug moist. Like you make me.
Oh, okay.
I belong to her.
And
As I'm saying this, I point to Mark. But this hobgoblins have multiple levels, tall like
Yeah, like
this house.
She kind of claps her hands and she points to the broken shell of this tower and she points to the eyeball that she's drawn.
Ah, okay.
All right, Lars. She says there's a lookout tower. You got to go in and assassinate everybody.
I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but this woman has an 8 intelligence.
Yeah, it's like me.
So by hill giant standards, she is pretty friggin' smart. But by human standards, yeah, by human standards, check your sheets, cause I mean, you know, yeah.
Lars, he grew up in a family that's got some pretty famed archmages and very, very smart people. And while Lars is he's not an idiot by any stretch of the imagination, he is not used to being the smartest one in the room.
Yeah.
He's starting to really like his new friends.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any other questions for her?
Where are the goblins? Are hobgoblins and goblins together?
Goblins everywhere. Goblins come and go.
Does Guh have magic?
No. Guh is very big.
Guh is very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Does Guh have shiny things too?
She seems a little confused, and then she's like,
I'll point to my sword.
Oh.
Afterward.
No. Orc, hobgoblin. They take shiny thing in exchange for, building and repairing and working.
Okay.
Moog, like the hobgoblins, do the orcs have a place to sleep?
Orcs, near throne room.
Okay. And the wolves and the ettins, are they like the goblins? Are they just sort of
wolves near orcs. Ettin with pigs. Ettin name Oinker Boinker.
Boinker boinker.
and she makes like a lewd humping gesture, with holding.
Big fucker.
She blushes and laughs when you say that.
I'm just calling a spade a spade.
And she explains to you that one head's name is Oinker, and the other head's name is Boinker.
Oh, I misunderstood.
But that it does have sex. It does have sex with the pigs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. she says that it makes the meat extra tender.
Mm. That's extra disturbing.
Gross.
Sometimes a pig will die from the act, and they consider that lucky. Like, that's a lucky pig.
Oh,
Out of character, I'm reminded of Zoe's speech about Reavers. I will also Carrick will also ask Moog, are there walls or like pointy sticks, things like that? Pointy sticks in the ground to stop attack.
Grudhog, big pile, pointy sticks. But you can go in bottom shape or top shape. Bottom shape connect to top shape.
And she's explaining how, like, a house works to you. Like, it is some fucking, like, master's level, like, physics right here. Like, because, again, these people generally live in caves. So the fact that they have a house is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason I'm quiet is I'm just sort of thinking, how are we going to draw out all these enemies away from the slaves? And we just can't go in and firebomb the entire setup.
No, we can
Well, if you
definitely
don't mind
work out
civilian
the
casualties,
options.
you could definitely burn the whole place to the ground.
well, it looks like.
Though
maybe
it does
we have,
sound sound like they have preventative measures for fires built in, thanks to their hobgoblin engineers. So
I think our first immediate threat will be the orcs, hobgoblins, and any hill giants in the way. I think we should take out the hobgoblins and the orcs probably as soon as we.
Well, I mean, remember that one time where we killed 100 orcs at once?
Yeah.
And also the other time where one hill giant almost ate you. I mean,
yeah.
So you could try and you could see the gears working in her brain, and she's like, you could try just run up and kill Guh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say
Mars,
that.
you feel up to sneaking in and killing a giant single-handed?
I mean, I'd be happy to try and hide behind her to, stab her in the back, but I'd really appreciate it if there were a whole bunch of you hitting her in the front at the same time.
Heyo.
Moog would suggest you pretend to be prisoner and Moog bring you as offering, but Moog not allowed to return because banished.
Moog, what would be a big enough present to Guh for her to reconsider the ban?
Oh, Guh like food. Maybe big food. Maybe real big food. Oh!
And her eyes go wide.
Yeah, you have big food.
And she takes a stick, and she just takes her arm and sweeps most of these fucking stones out of the way, like they're just like breadcrumbs. And she's like,
you have big food. Food. And then you put small men,
and she blushes when she says men,
inside. And then Guh see food, and she have food brought to her. Then Guh eat you, and then you kill Guh from inside her tummy.
And she does the thinking man meme. You know what I'm saying? Like she fucking points at her forehead. Like that's big brain power right there.
That is. It's very smart. But I think we can kill her from outside. But
Yes,
we jump
but
out before she eats us.
Yeah. Well, that's not a bad idea of getting past the defenses.
So what are we doing? We're just baking a giant cake? We go back to the town and ask for 500 pounds of flour and like 6,000 eggs? 400 pounds of butter?
It doesn't have to be a well-baked cake.
I mean,
We've got that ham. Could we cast it large on that?
I could cast create food and water like 3 times that feeds 15 people for 24 hours.
Yeah, you could you could fill a wagon with food and just hide under the food. Some Trojan horse shit right there.
It's like
and we know
like
she's not going to be
appetizer.
giving the food to anyone else.
True.
We could do that. Do you
I
guys
think
want
that's
to
going to be our best plan.
literal Trojan horse?
Well, I mean, if you really want to go Trojan horse route, which I think is a good way to get surrounded, we could polymorph someone into a mammoth and present them as a food offering.
Oh, Red Man, you have mammoth? Could hide many men inside mammoth.
And she blushes and says,
Men small as you could hide many in Moog.
Carrick leads over to Gyoza and says, you could always polymorph yourself into something big enough to sate our appetites.
It's you can just see all your awkward looks and all what the hell's going on. It's like, God, everybody's just being really fucking weird right now.
okay. This Bloodhawk does fly over to you, Egan, and try to beg some scraps off of you.
Some scraps. You can't have my Anauroch.
No, I mean like off of your venison that you're eating, off the elk.
Oh yeah, I'll
Yeah. So Salem,
share away.
you and your fishy boys, what are you guys up to while this is going down?
I think the fishy boys just walked in with me,
Yeah.
and we've just been like sitting and watching this whole thing,
Fair enough.
not understanding a single word except the one-sidedness of it.
All right.
I mean, I'll
Ticklick does ask if it would be okay for him to allow your mounts to go hunting.
absolutely yes.
Okay. Then he will send the mounts out and about.
Keep in mind, this is the very first time that your minions would have been able to understand and be understood by anyone in our party. Because every single person who has tongues, they can understand their side of the conversation.
True,
And anything that they say to each other can be heard and understood by the people with tongues.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like anything untoward has been said about the fish folk, but they are definitely listening intently with their ear holes to the words that are being spoken.
I'm just pointing out an opportunity.
Oh. Well.
Phrasing.
I think the Trojan horse situation would probably be the most ideal, with the like us hiding in a wagon of food.
I'm not a fan of sneaking into places and then being surrounded by enemies.
It gets us right to Guh's doorstep.
Well,
Right
we
to
don't
the
all
feet.
have to go in together. I don't think it would for us to all go in together. I feel like a couple or 3 of us go in, the rest attack from outside with our Hellkites.
Do we know that if we kill her, like cut the head off type of strategy? Like, does it even matter if it's quick?
Well, she, from what you understand, she is the one that employs the orcs, the hobgoblins, and the goblins. Goblins generally do whatever the bigger, meaner, stronger people tell them to do. Orcs are just not trying to hurt any feelings, but in Sword Coast, they're just fucking savages. So they, if they have an opportunity to fight, they're gonna fight they're gonna fight no matter what. If there's a superior show strength, some of them might retreat, but a lot of them will probably just fight anyways, just to fight. You are level 8 though. I mean, the orcs themselves might not be a problem, but 5e action economy is definitely going to be an issue. Hobgoblins love to fight. They are very mercenary culture, like lawful evil mercenary culture. So they will definitely honor whatever arrangements have been made, but more than likely they could be probably bargained with. From what you understand, this woman is forcing all of her people to give up their wives, and is taking the majority of the food for herself. So, that's a thing. So you're probably dealing with like demoralized troops to a certain extent.
So maybe that is an option. Maybe we do just go to town.
And lawful evil. A contract is only good as as long as the parties are alive.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think Egan, Carrick, and Larianus go in, kick ass, and take names. The rest of you guys can attack from outside.
Like the bitches that you are.
Oh.
Huh.
Sorry.
Okay,
he was thinking that. But he
no,
didn't.
that's not what I was going for.
I'm joking. I'm totally kidding.
So listening intently, Tadpole speaks up and says, "Sir, if I might add,
How did Fury get here?
sir."
I turn around, confused.
Yes, I couldn't help but overhear the conversation that you were having. It sounds like you're going to split your forces. One, diversionary delivery with the intent of assassination of the enemy leader, while the rest of your troops provide a sufficient distraction to the keep's defenses.
That's the idea, Tad.
I have to say that it's a sound strategy. Is there something wrong? Is there something on my eye? And he begins licking at his eye with his tongue.
No, it's just we haven't been able to communicate previously. It's
It's
sort of appraising your assessment of the situation. Any suggestions there, Tad?
I don't know how much good my associate and I could be, but we are aquatic creatures. If you are able to provide us additional support, it does sound like there is some sort of dam or river nearby. We could perhaps look into sabotaging it.
As long as it doesn't flood the region, that might not be an idea.
Well, the more distractions you have, the more chaos you'll be able to sow amongst your enemies. They don't seem to be very intelligent. My apologies, madam. So any amount of distractions will likely set their defenses. What was the saying? Ass over tea kettle.
Yeah, you got it. My only concern is with flooding is ideally we'd like to keep civilian casualties to a minimum and not see if we can't free the slaves and keep the food supplies.
Slaves would be very important for Lord Salem.
Well, the slaves have been enslaved by the giant. You of your own accord decided to follow Salem, did you not?
We had no choice. When we witnessed his greatness, we knew that there was none other for us. His divine spark is small, but mighty. Yes, it is. And I managed to find this small, woolly creature. I am presenting it to you, Master. So Salem, you just get the classic.
And this dude has Fury the Battle Sheep.
Yeah.
Salem takes it and puts it under his arm like a duffel bag.
It's like one of those make you feel good videos on the internet where like a dog gets reunited with its master after like being separated, like Homeward Bound shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
The most excited sheep ever.
Yeah. You'll see how well I did the one they now call Tadpole. The one they call Skippy is obviously the favored of the master. You keep talking like that, and I'll bite your face.
Gentlemen, there's no need for that, but Tad, I would like to point out, you said you made a choice. You could have chosen to embrace the spark you saw, or you could have chosen to be destroyed, is how you saw it, yes?
Yes, of course. Usith was a powerful being, no doubt, and perhaps someday I will come to regret my decision. But for now, I live in the blissful glow of Lord Salem's might.
Well, I would just like to say, when it comes to those who have been enslaved by God, it is every being's right to choose their own fate, be it, following a creature such as Salem, or choosing not to and suffering those consequences.
You know I can still understand you, right?
Yeah. True.
Yes.
So Skippy says, I think I understand what they're trying to say, Tad. They have emotional connections to individuals they've never met before. In this case, the slaves. And they're allowing the existence of these slaves to limit their capacity in the upcoming battle.
Marcus, look, it's Fury.
It's every creature's right to choose their own fate. Sometimes the choosing how you leave this world, that is the last bit of control one has and should be able to
so, am I to understand then that you do want these slaves alive?
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
Then we'll look to sabotaging their dam system in a manner that will not flood the lower areas of the keep. That will, however, limit the possibilities.
That's okay.
Now, we couldn't help but notice that your red-headed shaman is able to create octopi. Would that be something they would be willing to assist us with in our endeavor?
I'll let him know.
I can hear.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was about to ask if Gioza had tongues or not.
Of course.
All right.
That'd be a good...
The two share a look like this plan's coming together. All right.
Yeah, 3 strike teams, man.
And Tad, even though it may not be as efficacious as you thought, you're giving us more options than we
Efficacious.
have before.
Marcus
Thank
interrupts you.
You keep using that word. I don't. You're not using it the way you think you should be using it.
I do not think
I don't know what
you
you're
think it
talking
means.
about, but I'm being as efficacious as I can be today. So,
Larionis, you had a question, Larionis?
I did. Orcs being the blood enemy in the inferior race, I assume that there would be some general knowledge that I may be aware of with them, and I'm wondering if, with the size of orcs, a grouping of the size that we expect, would it be somewhat reasonable to assume there may be an Eye of Grumsh among them?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so we definitely need to make sure that whatever plan we have, Marcus has got to be ready to swoop on down when needed.
I will be.
Oh, that's right. His sword has to be driven through the eye of an.
Well, we don't know if that'll even require me to attune to it, but yes.
Hey, Marcus, if you get near an Eye of Grumsh, be sure to bless yourself.
So you can actually hit the damn thing.
Oh, yeah, it's a good idea.
Or, Marcus, I can always kill it for you. Then we can feed it a good berry, and then you can kill it.
I'll do it myself. I'll do it myself. Thank you very much.
Oh, the bard's telling that tale.
Oh yeah, Tad and Skippy laugh wholeheartedly at that.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds like you have a plan.
Let's go kill some bitches.
Yeah, I'll tell Moog the plan that the fish that the Goto told us.
Okay.
And inform her that, or I'll ask her the exact whereabouts of any dam where the river.
Yeah, I mean, she points to her detailed fucking illustration, and you realize that, yeah, that Grudhog is the dam.
Oh. Okay.
That's why it's so moist.
Sounds good. That makes sense now.
Okay.
That makes sense. A lot of sense.
Moist is the word of the day, kids.
All right. If anybody does make sweet love to this hill giant, just secretly DM me. I won't publicly shame you about it. She has gone over a month without the touch of a man. Hill giants are very primal creatures. They like to eat, sleep, and fornicate. Those are the things that they like to do. They really don't want to do anything else with their time or their lives. So.
And there's never necessarily an order to that.
And don't feel like you won't be able to measure up. I mean, you do have arms and legs, so you could do it.
Before,
all right.
Before the hour ends, though,
Basically a tickler.
I want to tell Moog that before we finally settle everything and we've got an agreement and everything, I want to let her know we won't be able to understand her normally. It's because of my magic that we were able to speak. I will let her know this.
She seems very sad about this.
Yeah, I'll tell her that if she needs to speak with us, to let me know, and I can set somebody or myself to talk to her again.
Okay. The closest location to acquire a cart would be only 10 miles away in the town of Stonebridge. And honestly, you feel that 2 days is probably if you didn't have flying mounts and did not have a ranger type character with you. So you could you're probably only about a day or so away from the hill giants. Yeah. So do you guys want to hit up Stonebridge while leaving the majority of your more frightening companions out and about?
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, I was asking if we should. I was saying we need a cart because how else are we going to transport this food we're going to hide under?
No, yeah, I mean specifically what Crash said with the more frightening companions, leaving them out.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't bring a hill giant to a town that's Kuatoa. I mean, this is a rural town that has been besieged by hill giants for weeks now.
Realistically, not even Carrick should go because they'll go take a little look at me and be like, "Oh God, orc!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Then, if that's the case, we can do something about that. Yeah. Would it be best for Moog to move the cart then, to pull the cart along? That'd be easy, right? I think.
I mean, to deliver it though. You think she should try for like I've returned, don't kill me, I bring offerings? Remember, like that, yeah. Guh doesn't want any ladies. Guh doesn't want any ladies around her stuff.
I think we're gonna need some livestock to pull the cart.
Then who will?
Or we could just summon something. I don't know.
Who'll present the offering then?
Well, if any of the races listed showed up, they probably, as long as they were boys, they probably would be allowed in.
Yeah, what about Carrick?
Can someone does someone have a disguise kit to make me look like a proper orc?
You are a proper
I
orc.
do. I do.
I'm a half orc.
Okay.
No, you are. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Marcus actually has proficiency with his disguise kit.
Look, we
Well,
know
maybe
you
that's
wear
all right.
makeup. We know you're not that pretty on your own, okay?
Come on.
And it's okay because you know what?
Hey,
Oh,
it's
oh.
just foundation.
My bad. Stonebridge is not a town. It is an actual historic landmark. It is a gigantic stone archway, two miles across and 400 feet tall. It spans the Dessarin River and the plain around it. The stone bridge is a sacred site of pilgrimage for many dwarves. Long ago, the god Moradin appeared atop the bridge to rally dwarves of the Ironstar clan against a horde of orcs, and the founder of the ancient kingdom of Bessamil, or Torhild Flametongue, died fighting a hill giant in the same location. So, yeah, you'd actually have to go. You'd have to go all the way to Belliard. At that point, you might even consider winging back to Westbridge to get a cart and stuff. If you really got intent on the cart plan.
I think we scrap the cart plan. You
Okay.
make me look like a full-on orc, and then I say, "Look, I'm bringing prisoners."
Oh. I mean, simple is often best, especially when dealing with simple creatures.
I'm fluent in orc.
Because at this point, Belliard is pretty much just like smashed into dust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that plan a lot better. If people need to fight, they're not under a pile of food.
All right. Or accidentally eaten by Chief Guh. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. If that's the case, this does point out one problem. I guess it is 2 days' journey because your giant had every intention of crossing Stone Bridge because I don't think she wants to swim 2 miles across the Dessarin River.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
So unless you have some means to cross the 2 mile wide river without the Stone Bridge, you will have to travel across Stone Bridge if you want to bring her with you.
Crash.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
The
there's
dark chocolates we got from Halloween that confer invisibility. Is that just as a potion of invisibility?
I don't think they give invisibility so much as make you more shadowy in dark areas, right? Which is better than invisibility? ? But yeah, I see what you mean.
I honestly couldn't remember what they did. I thought they were like invisibility, but
No, you didn't write down the stats for them?
I
That's
did not
fine.
expect to have one this long.
All right, I'll look it up real quick.
It's literally by fluke that I looked at my character sheet and saw that I still have one. I was like, oh yeah.
Chocolates of the deepest dark. All right. Eating one gives you the ability to blend into shadowed or dimmed area with ease, granting advantage on stealth in such conditions, even from creatures with dark vision.
Okay.
Here,
Awesome. I'm writing it down. Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, but I do have a potion of invisibility that we picked up, so which will help me on our little quest in there. So Stonebridge is basically like the St. Louis Arch.
Yeah.
Gios,
really
I think we
big
can just
Stonebridge.
travel as normal. We don't need to burn a polymorph.
Yeah, no, we could just have her cross the bridge while we fly over, and just wait for her on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, a polymorph would, put her in your pocket, get her across the river pretty quick if you wanted to do that, because her birds could just fly. It's up to you. If you want to do if you are going to do by land, that will delay things a little bit. So, because you got to go up and around, or at least wait for her to go up and around.
How much? Who can cast polymorph, and how much does that take out of you?
It's a 4th level slot.
Up to you guys if you want to cast it. I don't have polymorph. I don't have polymorph.
Here's the thing. You guys would, let's see, if you went that way and then down, it's really not too much worse than what you've already got going. Yeah, like, you'd still get there in the same day. Like, it's fine. So, because I'm looking at the map and, yeah, so save your spell slot. And then you could check that off your Sword Coast bingo that you went across the stone bridge. So
that is a pretty big one.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. So, as you make your way there, I could take you over to that map, and you can kind of get a sense for it as we prepare for this next bit. So let's see.
In regards to disguising character look more like an orc, like an average run-of-the-mill orc, do I have to make a check for that with disguise?
Yeah, I mean, orcs are pretty rough looking in D&D. Like, they really are. Like, the super handsome, kind of hot orcs of, like, Warcraft, or the hellaciously hot orcs of, like, the Lineage series. Like, that ain't happening in, like, Dungeons and Dragons. Like, they're very savage looking, very primal looking. So you'd have to, it's more than just makeup. Like, Carrick would need to, stoop over. He'd have to be angrier. He'd have to be gruffer. He'd have to be less put together. He'd have to untuck his shirt. Crazy savage man stuff. Yeah.
Take off your tie, Carrick.
Now, here's the thing. This map is so big that there are 2 maps. One for Lower Hog and one for Upper Hog. So, who's going to Upper and who's going to Lower? Is anyone going to Lower, or is everyone... I guess if you guys are flying / going to the throne room, you'd all be on the upper layer, yeah? Sounds about right?
I think we are, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think Mark is gonna go kill orcs. I don't know if anyone's gonna come with.
All right, who is gonna be my prisoner?
Egan can be, right?
Egan and Lars.
Yeah.
All right. Also, full disclosure, this is one of those super obnoxious maps that is been scaled down, up, and down again. That came with the module. It's a unique enough map that I did not have time to remake it, and the map artist, I fall in line, nobody has bothered to remake it, so just giving you a heads up on that one.
Do we have any orc weapons or armor in the bag of holding, anything like that?
I would assume you've grabbed a few odds and ends as you go, yeah? Like the stuff with the spiky bits poking out and stuff like that?
Yeah. I'd go through that, while we're trying to ugly me up, I try and, attach that to my existing armor.
We got those,
tie it to myself or something like that.
We got those giant hand axes, for sure. Those might impress somebody.
All right.
Yeah, I guess I can. I'll take one of those for now.
Crash! I forgot to
my
remind you
giant
that,
slaying sword on my back, though.
Wait, what'd you forget to do?
Every time Egan opened his mouth when we were in the tower or whatever, birds fell silent.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I forgot to.
That would actually come into play. Yeah.
Finally.
It finally happened. All right.
That's weird.
I mean, I don't necessarily need one of those axes. I have them all, which is something.
So, Gyoza, will you be concentrating on a water animal summoning spell for Salem's followers?
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. So how many octopi is that? 2?
Two giant octopi. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that should be plenty to screw some stuff up. All right. So basically, the map has this big ass brand on it that's like 1 square equals 10 feet, but then the map's actually divided up into 5-foot squares. So just ignore that, and use grid and ruler, and you should be fine. But yeah, it is a big ass map. It is a big ass map. Let's see. Who else am I grabbing? Grabbing these little fish folk. There we go. All right. So, if 3 of you are not on your mounts, who is flying the other 3 mounts?
Who is being led in as the slave?
Yeah, I think that we would typically. So, like, what makes sense to me is that we would have Ticklick hanging back outside the general area with the mounts, like outside of the area, so they're not involved, I guess. Unless we could just let them, kind of do whatever the hell they want while we're doing all this.
Well, Ticklick does inform you that giants hate dragons and love to throw rocks at them. So he could have the other 3 basically just going wild at the outskirts to try to draw even more troops out to sort of chase them away, which would then give you guys a chance to fly in with the mounted ones.
What are the odds? I'll ask Ticklick. What are the odds that they die?
I mean,
They, well, Ticklick, would say Hellkite could take 2-3 boulders. Yeah.
Are they smart when it comes to handling giants?
No.
No, let's stay away from that one.
Okay.
Let's stay away from that one.
All right, fair enough. I will take you over to the map. Your prisoners, how prisoned up are they? Like, this is going to be some mad performance skills here, you guys. And I'll have you know, hill giants are very wise and very smart. So, you're going to have to put on some pretty good moves to fool them. So, like, are you guys just fully armored? Do you have your weapons within reach? Like, how are you selling this, how are you selling, I have these prisoners?
Yeah, be carrying the weapons?
Coiled ropes around there.
I would think I would be carrying the weapons, and I would present Lars as better of the 2. Because we could use him, because he's got the best shinies, we could use him to get more shinies, because he's a slave of value.
Oh, okay.
So that's my way of trying to present the idea of a ransom.
Okay.
I don't think hill giants care about shinies.
Yeah.
Well, no, bear in mind, Guh was using the shinies to keep the goblins and the hobgoblins and the orcs around.
Now, are you approaching the 3 of you just on land on foot, right? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So neither of you has access to your weapons, but you still have your armor on. Got it.
Yes, and I will probably leave my shield behind because I don't know that it makes sense to be carrying the shield on and then take the time to.
Well, I could be carrying those things, but I mean, we're gonna have to move pretty quick in a fight, so.
Yeah. So I was thinking just. Yeah, so just bring one of the. So we'll just bring one of the giant cave axe, great axes through
Okay.
the fights. Yeah.
All
Sorry,
right.
I just got back and wanted to make a suggestion, slight modification. I could be invisible for up to an hour. And Lars is, I'm just gonna put it bluntly, absolutely loath to set his sword apart from him. So I could shadow you guys while invisible.
I mean, they don't have any magic according to Moog.
I'm gonna need something more than just Egan.
Yeah, a little more than this.
Egan cries a little. Egan cries.
Egan, it's not you. It's these hill giants. They're gluttons. They want more than just one.
Is Marcus integral to the other part of the plan? Because anything I hold can be invisible too, so I can hold Talon as well, and just hand it to him when the time comes.
Well, my orcs.
You gotta worry about the hill giants too.
Yeah, alright, yeah, I'll go along with that. I'll just leave my Hellkite.
Okay. So Salem and Gyoza, you guys are hanging back to monitor outdoor shenanigans. Does that sound all right to you two?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or Salem, do you feel like you should be presented as the most exotic of morsels? Nope. Okay. Because
you don't want to be a nom nom?
Chief Guh would eat you up. I'm just saying, she would eat you the hell up.
Yep, that's the problem.
Okay, I mean,
she before I had a chance to offer.
Also, Larionis, I appreciate you coming up with this plan last minute, because I was going to feel really terrible about what I was going to have to do to you. So, yeah. Yeah.
You were going to die again.
I didn't want to be an elven prisoner.
Yeah. Elf, yeah, when there's hobgoblins around, you don't want to be an elf when there's hobgoblins around. It was gonna be
Hobgoblins hate elves, don't
they? It's more than hate. Yeah. They were just gonna start carving them up. There wouldn't have been any like, oh, cool, prisoner. Like, it would have been right to just a straight beat down. So
hides his half-elven ears. His hair.
I definitely do not want to play my new character concept that badly.
All right, so this is a huge map, as I've pointed out. There should be dynamic lighting. As you can see, this place is a giant beaver dam. Yeah? There is an adorable painting by Bob Ross. There you go. Yeah, it's adorable.
Nice.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, it's pretty much exactly like the drawing she made for you. Yeah, right? And there is, in fact, the place is, in fact, a dam. It is it's a giant beaver dam house. It's kind of wild. You are going to walk through the outdoor goat area, and then you're going to walk up that ramp and to that front door. That's the goal. Yep. Okay. Fair enough. To remind you, this is what your average boy and girl hill giant, what you're working with. Okay.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So I was a prince.
Yeah, I do want to point out how absolutely gorgeous Moog is by comparison. Okay.
Okay, fair.
All right. Okay.
Boy, am I glad I DM'd you.
So, oof. Okay. Let's get this rolling. Because I'm excited to see how things are going to turn out here.
So, Egan will take a minty caramel chocolate that he actually just rolled, and he had that on him the last time he took a laceration. So anyway, he can kind of stash that. He might try to use that if it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So just throwing that out there. That I did
Sure. Do you hide it in your prison pouch, or like in the back of your mouth, like in your adorable hamster cheek pouch? Like, where are you hiding this candy?
I still have my armor on. I'd probably try to squeeze it in like somewhere.
All right.
It's gonna get smushed anyway, so as long as I eat it.
Okay. Gyoza, so as not to miss out on the fun, are you going to use one of your wild shapes to send Doctor Who along with everybody else?
I will.
Okay.
I will.
All
Let me
right.
keep my shield, by the way. I need to keep my shield on.
Are they gonna let you be
Will
equipped
that
with
would
a
you
shield?
think that'd be okay?
It would be very hard to convincingly tie you up as a prisoner if you still had a shield equipped.
Damn it! All right, fine.
Okay.
I've got 2 prisoners. That should be fine.
All right.
I mean, Kara can.
Well, again,
Right.
you have Marcus and you have Egan. I'm gonna assume that Doctor Who, with Larionis's consent, is going to hide in your cloak, I guess, to benefit from the invisibility.
Oh, I see.
I will consent to that.
Okay. All right. So here you guys are. You will first have to make it past the goat herding orcs.
I
Oh,
will
sorry. These aren't
absolutely be
goats. These
moving-
are sheep. Let me double check. I think all those
They are
white,
white
yeah,
splotches.
yeah, those white blobs. They
Those
are
are
all
mushrooms.
sheep. I think. Let's see.
So I'll definitely be moving like half speed, doing all of whatever the mechanics are. I am trying to keep silent.
Okay.
Because invisible does not mean silent.
Correct. Even with a 1, what is your passive stealth if you were to roll a 1?
Only 8. I
Okay.
have a
Plus
7
you
to my
plus
stealth.
you have advantage because so you'd really only have to worry about wolves, I think. Anything with like scent would probably be a problem.
Well, don't you
Yeah.
have 10? Don't you
Yeah.
have 10 to the?
I don't think he has reliable talent yet. Do you have reliable talent yet?
No, I don't.
No,
I don't have
okay.
reliable talent yet, so
Yeah.
I would have advantage with that 5, so it'd
Yeah.
be 13. which-
13. So you should be good against most of the shit here.
Well, I mean,
the
he's
wolves will
dead.
be-
He doesn't breathe.
Yeah, the wolves will be a problem because of your smell. But other than that, you should be good. And I tell you this because at this level, you would probably have thought through these sort of angles a bit before you committed. Yes, so this is the stockyard. I will describe it to you. There are 5 crude tents in the middle of a muddy yard surrounding a campfire. There are hell amounts of orcs. They have shields. Oh, sorry. Some of them have shields. Others just have painting of shields on them. You may attempt a history check to see if anybody recognizes what tribe of orcs these are, if you give a shit.
Does anybody have proficiency in history, or are we going off the?
You can just each roll it, see how it goes. It's fine. Okay. Yep. You guys have no idea which orcs these are. That's fine. Yep. Okay.
Dang.
So all of the white blobs represent swarms of sheep. There are, I would say, thousands of them. Thousands of sheep here. So that's something to keep in mind. It smells horrendous. These sheep are not very well cleaned or cared for. The smell of sheep and sheep shit is so overpowering as to make it hard to breathe. You walk the gauntlet of sheep shit, and the orcs see you approaching and move to watch. Some of these orcs
As we
have
were-
battle
as we're
axes.
approaching,
Yeah.
I've got my maul out. I'm kind of hunched over. I'm just sort of prodding Egan and Marcus, alternating between the two, just muttering at them and working. Like, come on, keep moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you guys play it out? What is your response to being prodded by?
Marcus has the most ugly, disheveled. He did his makeup so that he looks kind of beaten and bruised a little bit.
Okay.
He looks sad, a little sad, whimpery baby.
Okay.
Egan's defiant. He
All right.
He waits to be prodded to move.
One orc bearing a shield and a battle axe steps forward and aims his axe at you in a pointing, I'm aiming my axe at you gesture. I'll be honest. Now that you guys are seeing an orc and Carrick in, daylight, you understand why Carrick asked for some makeup.
Carrick, you handsome boy. You a handsome boy.
Yeah. Like, there's some mouth anatomy happening with this creature that is very hard to understand. Like, this is a very simian-like build on this creature. All right. It shouts to you in orc. I will check. Who did the disguise? Give me a disguise check here.
With what stats?
Well, I would say that it would either be intelligence, based on your knowledge about orcs, dexterity, based on somebody else telling you about orcs and you trying your best to put the makeup on right, or you could probably bullshit that your wisdom would come into play because you were intuiting cool things to add to the costume.
I really like the wisdom one.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
You can guide
Bullshit
yourself
away.
during that.
Yeah.
Give yourself some guidance.
No, I don't need guidance for this one.
All right.
I'm pretty sure I can. Think like they look like savages. They look
Sure.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Try to make
We
them
killed-
look
we
more,
killed 100 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we killed 100. I saw
they
100 different orc faces. I got the general idea of like. What
Sure.
kind of look
Sure.
they go
So
for.
give me that
Yeah.
disguise skip. Oh. Okay.
No.
All right.
Two.
When you said you got this, you don't need guidance. I was gonna say, you know that a D20 has a range of 19 different.
All right. As you approach Carrick, the orc, he just makes a face.
You're breaking up.
Oh, hold on. I should be okay now. Hello?
Yeah, you're good.
Good
Yeah.
now, yep. Good
All
now.
right. As the orc watches you approach, the closer you get, Carrick, the more obvious it is that he and his buddies ain't buying it. In fact, they actually look a bit affronted by the cultural appropriation that you have incorporated into this costume. Yeah, like the fake tusk extensions probably were a touch too far. All right.
We're good in retrospect.
With this 8 disguise kits, as the duress of the situation comes upon you, your mouth begins to salivate, and the expired spirit gum that Marcus was using starts to kind of wash away with your nervous sweat. One of the tusks kind of to the side. And the extra eyebrow bulk that he put in for you starts to peel away. This guy calls out in orc, "What the hell's wrong with you? You got leprosy or something?"
What the hell's wrong with you? Do you have halitosis or something? I can fucking smell you from here.
All right, this guy kind of holds a hand to his mouth real quick, and then he kind of looks back at the others and he nods at them. They all sort of get poised to do some ass kicking, and you see one of them move over to the ramp, and he gets to like a runner's pose, like he's gonna get ready to run up the ramp. All right, this guy comes closer and he says, "What do you got there? Looks like humans."
Yeah, 2 humans for the boss. Found him out in the woods.
All right.
Beat the shit out of him and gonna beat him up.
All right. The orc says, "Listen, buddy, I got a nat 20 on my intelligence to see through your bullshit disguise. I know that I ain't seen you around here before, and I know that you ain't an orc. You're one of them nasty half-breeds. Now,
You're
you
not
say
so charming yourself.
that these 2 are for the boss. Who is the boss?"
Yeah. Guh.
Okay. He seems impressed that you knew the answer. Okay. All right. I get it.
You're a half-breed in a cruel world. You don't want to try to fit in with those Dritz-Duerden assholes, so you're trying to get in touch with your orc roots. I see it all the time. All the time. Listen, kid. You don't have to doll yourself up. Wait a minute, you're not a kid. Oh my god, you're so old. I don't even understand what's going on here. What would motivate such an old ass half orc, which respect that you made it that far, to come back to his people like this?
People suck. Humans suck.
All right, he looks at the two humans that you're gently manhandling as if he doesn't believe you that you think humans suck.
As the last time I say humans suck. Sorry, Egan. I'm gonna hit you in the back and just sort of knock you down.
All right, he lets out a snort of amusement at that. Do you actually damage him?
Yeah, I'm gonna put enough force behind to like send him down hard.
All right, Egan, give me a performance check with advantage.
Ooh.
Okay. Good thing he did actual damage to you. You look back like, the fuck? As he hits you and you kind of fall to the ground. And then I guess you kind of fall the rest of the way. Like,
Oh, I see.
All right. Hold on. Let's see what we got here.
Please, no more nat 20s.
Damn. This orc is like, yeah, this is pretty fishy stuff.
And for good measure, I'm gonna hit Marcus in the back of the head with the butt of my.
Okay. Do you do damage to him?
Yup.
All right. Egan and Marcus each take a point of damage. Marcus, give me a performance check with advantage.
Warmer's not my strong suit, but hey.
Okay.
All right.
So let's see.
Egan takes notes.
So
All right. Seeing Marcus fall down like a European football player, he's like, all right. Listen, I agree. They suck. And you come here offering slaves. You're on the right track. Tell you what. Come on over by the campfire, and we'll get these two shackled up, take them to the slave pits. We gotta strip them down, and then I'll take you up to the Eye of Grumpsh, and he can vet you to Chief Guh.
No, I want to present these to Guh myself.
Did you just say no to me?
Yes, I fucking did.
All right, I need an opposed intimidation check. All right, Orange Jesus is leaning back in your face. Oh, okay.
Hell yeah! All right.
I'll let you win, but only if you say that I told you where to find them, so I get some credit too.
Sure.
All right, Lars, he starts backing up towards you.
Yeah, I'd move.
All right. All right, go ahead and give me a stealth check with advantage. Okay.
All right, let's go.
Let's go, slaves. I'm gonna prod Egan and Marcus.
Okay. He calls out.
Yeah, you two. Help the old man.
All right, and they come and they start really roughhousing and manhandling you.
Yeah.
Spitting on you, kicking you in the butt, all that jazz.
Mark is like,
All right. There you go. I can move you so everybody stays grouped. That's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
The two, he's like,
Hey, listen, Grandpa. You're gonna like it here. There's no ladies. That kind of sucks. But every like 4 days, we draw straws to see who dresses up as lady. Unless you like big girls, then you're gonna like Chief Guh. Let me tell you, that's a big bitch. Like so big. Look, I don't think you're mentally prepared for what you're gonna see in there. So, why don't you just stop for a second? Imagine the fattest thing you've ever seen. So fat. Fatter than that. What's the fattest thing you've ever seen?
I don't know. I've seen some pretty big fucking fat boars.
Oh, you got so quiet I thought you had passed away from old age. Alright.
No, I'm just so fucking old that I have to really think hard.
Because you've seen a lot. I got you. I follow you. Alright. Let me just tell you. You know what a house is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just noticed I can
heard
see
enough of them.
through these dire wolves.
Oh, that's not good.
That should be-
I could have sworn I turned that shit off. I hate druids. Have I told you that? Have I told you that enough times? How much I fucking hate druids.
Okay. What?
And then when I take away your access, you cry. I'm like, that's the part that really gets me. Is this? Whatever. I'm just gonna delete them.
To be fair,
I could delete
I've
all
never
beasts
heard
from.
I've never heard Gyoza cry while playing.
You can hear it in his voice. You can hear it in his voice. He's a scientist. He's learned to suppress his human emotions. But like when you've been DMing for 26 years, you could hear tears in somebody's voice. All right. So you approach, and he asks you, "You know what a house is?"
Yeah, I burned enough of them.
She's bigger than a house.
Fuck.
Yeah. Well, only if you feel brave enough. I've seen orcs go in there and never come out.
Oh.
Alright, he switches to giant, and you hear the word Hruck. And Hruck says, stuff in giant, and then steps aside. Hruck is very handsome. Alright.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Strong jaw.
Yeah. Alright, so you guys head in. You notice to your left, there is a place with orcs. So hold on just a second. He calls out an orc, and you hear him.
Summon the eye. He needs to see this.
Alright. And the curtain, the giant tapestry that hangs here parts. And oh damn, that's a big orc. You see an eye of Grumsh come into view. His one good eye blazing beneath his war helmet. And he approaches and says,
What is this travesty?
As he motions at Karak Boragash in his full-on orc face makeup.
An old one. He tires of the world of men and wishes to reconnect with his people. He has brought us slaves. I see. Guh waits on her throne, as always. Grumsh will bless you on this day.
And he raises a fist and kind of closes his one eye and says,
May you not join the many digesting inside her.
all right. You ready? Okay. You guys walk through the curtain.
Ready?
Don't be shy, Karak. There you go. Into the throne room. The throne room is big, and you do a quick accounting of action economy and hit points, and you feel your soldier background cause your half-orc butthole to tense up a little bit, Carrick. There's a lot of bad guys in here. A quick head count gives you a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 beefy-ass male hill giants. You also see that there are 4 ogres, 2 giant vultures, a bunch of goblins. You can hear the snarling of wolves from the north, not to mention that room full of orcs that you just passed. Unknown quantities of enemies out in other side chambers, and seated upon her throne, which does seem to be some sort of oversized war wagon, just piled high with bones and garbage, is Chief Guh. She is, in fact, a colossal creature, larger than huge, bigger than gargantuan.
She's wearing a well as a hat.
She is wearing
and
a well.
Full-size sword as a nose ring.
That is correct. That's actually a great sword.
She's as big as a keep.
Look at her necklace.
Yeah.
It's a battle axe and stuff.
Yeah. You are not sure, medically, that this creature is capable of moving about on her own. That is how fat she is. Here's her handout, in case you needed it. There you go.
I need a longbow, a safe perch, and 8,000 arrows.
Yeah, she's big. She is big. I might actually have any other information for you about her. Let's see. Do we have any flavor text? Let's see.
In between, what's it called?
Oh wait. Here's some more flavor text that might change things for you. Let's see. Oil lance and iron sconces are mounted to thick wooden pillars that support rafters 30 feet from floor to roof, which peaks at 65 feet overhead. Let's see. Protruding from the northwest and south walls is a 10-foot wide, 20-foot high wooden ledge that the goblins used to get around the room. The ledge was added after several goblins were crushed underfoot by careless hill giants and ogres. Wooden ladder leads up to the ledge, and windows a couple of feet above the ledge let shafts of natural light into the hall. 8 sturdy but battered wooden tables covered with gobs of greased, gnawed bones, empty casks, and scraps of food stand near the north and south walls, while empty ale barrels lie around and underneath them. Refuse covers the dried mud floor, in the middle of which are 2 20-foot diameter circular holes topped with crisscrossing wooden beams held in place by mud cement. So this kind of has like a caveman Jabba's palace feel to it. You dig? Caveman Jabba's palace?
I do.
Yeah.
The Rancor is also Jabba.
The beams are far enough apart that medium or smaller creatures can easily slip through them without having to squeeze. And a horrible stench rises from the holes, accompanied by the squealing of hundreds, if not thousands, of pigs. Chief Guh lies in the west end of the hall, slumped atop a 4-wheeled flatbed war wagon that bends and creaks under her great bulk. She easily weighs over 20,000 pounds.
That's it? Just 20 tons? What?
Let's see.
Is
Yeah.
that enough?
Yes.
As you present yourself to Guh, she looks at you a bit confused. Alright. God, man. We're at time. I kind of want to keep going, but I don't know if I want to get, like, too involved, and then, like, we have to stop when it's getting really, really good. I feel like you guys sounding off or facing off against her in her hall might be a pretty epic point to do this. Meanwhile, your Aqua Squad is preparing to collapse the dam. And what is Team Firestorm? Is that what the flying team is?
We are. Well, I'm watching. Well, I guess I'm just listening to what's going on.
Okay.
Through Doctor Who, sort of waiting for a signal to cause a distraction.
All right, fair enough.
Salem's ready to lead the charge.
Mm-hmm.
All right. On
You
that,
want that distraction?
Yeah, I think this is a good point to pause.
all right, fair enough. Also, I want to point out that I double checked this map and everything, and nobody bothered to dynamically light these goddamn pillars. So hold on while I toss that in. There we go. That'll add a little bit of dramatas. There we go.
Oh, could I get a Doctor Who with them? Can Doctor Who see, or is he not able to see?
It's one of those Harry Potter situations where if any part of him is not concealed under Lars's cloak, there will be it'll be visible. So he has to stay fully concealed. You're kind of scamming the system here with the whole invisibility doesn't work on more than one target, on account of the fact that he's tiny and just sort of stuffed into Lars's clothes. So, but you can definitely hear them. All right, fair enough.
Yeah. I don't suppose while we were on our way here and we were resting, none of us have identified. So during a short rest, would we have been able to figure out what that rope is?
I could double check, but unless it's an attunable rope, I don't think you'd figure out what it was without an identify. And an attunable thing, part of the risk reward of it is if it's a curse thing and you attune to it, then that's real bad. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but I could double check. I think neither of them requires attunement. There you go. That's your. For those of you that are not in there, I posted it in general. That is the situation in the throne room.
Cool.
Yeah, and I guess I need to move these goblins up onto the actual platforms like they were described. So there we go. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool dungeon layout as far as these kind of things go. So I was actually pretty hyped when I read it. I was like, damn, this is actually a pretty cool layout. But yeah, it could be nuts. Next week, there are again 2 maps for this. With Roll20, we can be on both maps at the same time. So if anybody does decide that maybe this is too much, they can always jump down through the floors, or you could simply just run back through the heavy-ass curtain and call it a day. But that is your target over there. That is the sweetness. That is Chief Guh, who stole everybody's man. I'll be honest, I think I've worked with her at 1 or 2 jobs during my life. So,
are you saying this based off the corpulence or the behavior of man?
Everything. I know this.
God.
I know this woman. So, yeah. I think everybody's met a Chief Guh at some point in their life. So.
You mentioned we could technically split maps because of the 2 instances of Roll20.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that you could split players on the separate maps?
No, that's what I'm referring to. Yeah, I'm saying if you guys needed to go to 2 different maps, I could drag your minis, your player profiles to do 2 different maps. So if some of you decided to go low and some of you stayed high, we could do that. Salem knows all about it. We ran 3 separate maps simultaneously for Scales of War once. It was ridiculous.
What?
Oh yeah, because they had to do a Mission Impossible thing where they did 3 heists simultaneously.
May I ask, since you know how to do that?
Yeah.
Is it that you drag the player entry from the journal onto
No,
the
no,
other
no, no,
map,
no.
or do
You
drag
grab their
actual
actual name
avatar?
tag. No, no, no. You grab their name tag down at the bottom of the screen,
Yeah, okay, that's
Oh,
what I
yeah,
thought.
yeah,
and you
yeah,
drag
yeah,
it
yeah.
up directly to the map you want to put them on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I could take Larionis and I
Yeah.
could put him back on Mountain Pass, and now Larionis is going to see Mountain Pass.
I
And-
do see Mountain Pass. This is
Right.
far out.
Yeah, and then if I drag Larionis from Mountain Pass back to the player ribbon, the red player ribbon, you'll be reunited with the rest of the party.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so
Guys,
yeah.
you wouldn't believe where I just went.
So,
Go.
oof, next week, I will be honest, I sense a fight coming. I think this is going to be a fight. I don't
Feel it in
know
my
how.
bones.
Yeah, I don't know how you're gonna get out of this one without some violence. But we'll see.
You know that you do remember that Marcus talked that spirit into just like handing us his god staff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I guess we'll
Like-
see. We'll see what happens. See what
No, we should
happens.
have kept that.
I think we got a better item in return. None of us are wizards. We can't use that thing.
All right.
Could use it as a cudgel.
Well, you are poised to defeat your first giant lord and acquire the coveted conch shell that you so need to begin ending this nonsense that is the dick measuring of the ordning. You just have to get it from that sweet woman. So, how hard could it be?
The real question is, where on her do we have to look?
Yeah. We'll find out next week,
It's
right?
a magical thing. We burn the body. And then it's on the touch.
It would take a while to burn, but yeah, that would work.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
True,
I feel
that
like
would
that
work.
might take a
I
while.
don't know. It's got a lot of fat on it.
Yeah, it would deep fry everything underneath it.
Just hit her with a lightning bolt.
Remember, in 5e, magic items are mostly indestructible. So setting them on fire is actually a quick way to determine if they're magical or not.
Ooh. I have another question that might
You
be
were
a little bit
unable to attune
meta.
to the rope or to the crystal sphere.
Alrighty, that's okay. Slightly meta question.
Uh-huh.
Witness me.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like part of the adventure, or was that a Crash add-on?
That was actually a Sly Flourish add-on for incorporating Phandelver into Storm King's Thunder.
Okay, so Witness Me does exist though.
Well, I mean, you know, somebody came up with it, but yeah.
I'm only asking because I played a drop-in game
Mm-hmm.
the other day, and in the middle of a fight, one of the guys, as like his war cry, literally.
Oh,
out,
well, Witness Me.
Witness Me.
Witness Me was made famous by a Mad Max movie. Remember, dudes with spray paint in their mouth and shout "Witness Me" before they went and did.
absolutely should probably watch that movie.
Oh, it's a fantastic
Wait,
movie.
You haven't seen it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, now so pop culture blind spot there. Okay, Wicked. You know,
Have you
I
at least seen the previous Mad Max movies? You don't have to get Fury Road. I'm just